this lightly, but allowing the United States to decide who we buy oil from, who we buy gas from, whether we can buy oil from from Russia or not, whether our relationship with different oil suppliers can be decided by us. This is what has been bartered. And this is a very puzzling fact for me. It has been a very puzzling fact why a nation the size of India would allow any other nation, the president of another nation, to give us permission to buy Russian oil, to decide who our relationships are with. And this has been a puzzle, and I've been trying to figure this puzzle out. And I have figured the puzzle out. And the puzzle is about compromise. We have a gentleman sitting here who is the oil minister. He himself has said that he is a friend of Mr. Epstein. Oh. Sir, I'm talking about oil security, sir. Sir, I'm talking about oil national. I'm talking about economic security, sir. Sir, here I have a document which shows that his daughter has received money from George Soros.
माननीय सदस्य, आपने जो नोटिस दिया है, उस नोटिस में बोलिए आप नोटिस में बोलिए माननीय सदस्य। आप प्रतिपक्ष के नेता हैं, मैं आपको फिर आग्रह करना चाहता हूं, आप नोटिस अगर इस बात पर बोलने होता है तो नोटिस आज इस बात का देते हैं। नो, नहीं बोलने, नहीं इजाजत दी जाएगी, ठीक है? ऐसे नहीं चलेगा सदन। आप अगर नोटिस के अंदर, नोटिस जिस विषय पर आपने नोटिस दिया था, मैंने सुबह भी कहा कि संसद नियम प्रक्रियाओं से चलती है। आपने जो नोटिस दिया है, आप उस नोटिस में बोलिए। आपको अगर इस विषय पे बोलना है तो आप नोटिस देते। मैं अलाउ करता नहीं करता ये मैं तय करता, लेकिन ये तरीका ठीक नहीं है। नो, आप कोई रिकॉर्ड में नहीं जा रहा, आप नहीं बोलना चाहते इस विषय, ठीक है? नो, इस विषय पर, जिस विषय पे नोटिस दिया उस विषय पे नोटिस पे बोलिए। अगर आपको इस डिटेल पे बोलना है तो उस पे नोटिस दीजिए आप। नो, धर्मेंद्र यादव जी, आप बोलना चाहते हैं?
सभापति, लीडर ऑपोजिशन को सर बोलने दीजिए, बात पूरी हो जाए।
लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन पूरी बात हो जाए, नियमों से बोलेंगे, नियम के विपरीत नहीं बोल सकते। जिस विषय पे उन्होंने नोटिस दिया है, नोटिस सदन के पटल पे है, उस विषय पर बोले हुए।
सभापति जी, लीडर ऑपोजिशन की बात पूरी हो जाए, उसके बाद मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ। सभापति जी
बोलिए, माननीय हरदीप पुरी जी।
Honorable Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, sir. I rise to inform. Honorable Speaker, sir. I rise to inform the House of steps taken in response to the disruption of the global energy supplies arising from the ongoing conflict in West Asia. The world has not faced a moment like this in modern energy history. Today is the 13th day since the passage through the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's crude, 20% of world's natural gas and 20% of the world's LPG flows was disrupted following the military operations between Iran, Israel and the US. For the first time in recorded history, the Strait of Hormuz has been effectively closed to commercial shipping. Despite India having no role in causing the conflict, like many countries, India has to navigate through its consequences. The contrast with how other nations are managing this crisis places India's response in its sharpest relief. A country in our neighborhood has shut all schools for 2 weeks, moved government offices to 4-day work week, ordered 50% of public employees to work from home, cut fuel allowances for official vehicles by half, and taken 60% of government vehicles off the road. This country has experienced the largest single fuel price increase in its history, with petrol up approximately 20% in a week. In another neighbor has closed universities early and brought forward the Eid al-Fitr holiday to save fuel. Countries in Southeast Asia have also had to take energy rationing and conservation measures. Honorable Speaker, sir, India's crude supply position is secure and volumes secured exceed what the Hormuz would have delivered. Before the crisis, approximately 45% of India's crude imports transited through the Hormuz route. Thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister's outstanding diplomatic outreach and goodwill, India has secured crude volumes that exceed what the disrupted Strait of Hormuz could have delivered in the same period. Non-Hormuz sourcing has risen to approximately 70% of crude imports, up from 55% before the conflict began. India sources crude from 40 countries as against 27 in 2006 and 7. This structural diversification, built through sustained policy over successive years, has given us options that other nations find themselves without. Refineries are operating at high capacity utilization. In several cases, they are exceeding 100%. There is no shortage of petrol, diesel, kerosene, ATF or fuel oil. The availability of petrol, diesel, aviation, turbine fuel, kerosene and fuel oil is fully assured. Retail outlets across the country are stocked and supply chains for these products are functioning normally. Additional allocation of PDS kerosene has been issued to all the states. Honorable Speaker, sir, natural gas supply has been managed through prioritized allocation and the position is stable, well beyond immediate need. India produces approximately 90 million metric standard cubic meters per day of natural gas domestically. A further 30 million metric standard cubic meters per day was previously imported through Gulf sources, now affected by the force majeure declaration of a major Qatari processing facility. The force majeure declaration, the Natural Gas Control Order issued on 9th March 2026 under the Essential Commodities Act established an immediate priority sequence. Domestic pipe gas goes to homes and CNG for vehicles receives 100% supply with no cuts. Industrial and manufacturing consumers will receive upon 80% of their previous 6 months average. Fertilizer plants will receive up to 70%, protecting the agricultural input chain ahead of the sowing season. Refineries and petrochemical units absorb a managed reduction with the House that the shortfall has been substantially upward through alternative procurement. Large LNG cargoes are arriving on an almost daily basis through alternative supply routes, and India has sufficient gas production and supply arrangements to sustain this position even in the event of a prolonged conflict. Power generation for every household and for industry is fully protected. Honorable Speaker, sir, it should be noted that India was previously importing approximately 60% of the LPG requirements from Gulf countries such as Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and 40% is produced domestically. Procurement has now been actively diversified, with cargoes being secured from the United States, Norway, Canada, Algeria and Russia, in addition to Gulf sources. The LPG control order issued on 8th March 2026 directed all refineries to maximize LPG yields and channel the entire output of C3 and C4 hydrocarbon streams comprising propane, butane, propylene and butenes exclusively to the 3 oil marketing companies for domestic cooking gas. Hence, in the last 5 days, LPG production has been increased by 28% through refinery directive, and further procurement is actually underway. Modi government's foremost priority is that the kitchen of India's 33 crore families, especially the poor and the underprivileged, do not face any shortage. Domestic supply is fully protected and the delivery cycle is unchanged. The standard time for booking to delivery for domestic LPG cylinders remains 2.5 days, unchanged from pre-crisis norms. Hospitals and educational institutions have been placed on uninterrupted priority supply, and their access to LPG is fully assured regardless of broader demand conditions. Field reports indicate hoarding and panic booking at the distributor and retail level, driven by consumer anxiety rather than any actual supply shortage. The House should be clear on this. The rush booking pressure in some localities reflects a demand distortion, not a production of supply failure. Delivery authentication code coverage is being expanded from 50% to 90% of consumers under this system. A cylinder can only be logged as delivered when the consumer confirms receipt through a one-time code on their registered mobile, making undocumented diversion effectively impossible to conceal. A 25-day minimum booking period has been introduced as a demand management measure in urban areas and 45 days in rural and Durgam Kshetra areas. OMC field officers and the anti-adulteration cell are coordinating enforcement at the distributor level. The Home Secretary has chaired a meeting with Chief Secretaries of all states to align state-level administration with the Central Supply and Information Framework. Commercial LPG has been regulated to prevent black marketing, not to penalize the hospitality sector. Commercial LPG is sold in a completely deregulated, over-the-counter market at market price without any government subsidy. There is no registration system, no booking requirement, no digital authentication, and no delivery confirmation mechanism. Any business or individual can purchase cylinders in any quantity at the point of sale with no government control in normal time. In a supply-constrained environment where public anxiety is elevated, this deregulated structure creates a direct and uncontrolled pathway for hoarding, diversion and resale at inflated prices. Had commercial supply have been diverted to the grey market at the expense of genuine commercial consumers and domestic households alike. The government has therefore taken the responsible course to regulate this channel with clear priorities and a transparent allocation mechanism. A 3-member committee comprising executive directors from IOCL, HPCL and BPCL was constituted on 9th March 2026. Extensive meetings have been held and state civil supply departments and restaurants associations across the country and are continuing. The committee has assessed genuine need by geography and sector to ensure available commercial volumes reach commercial LPG requirement is going to be supplied from today by OMCs in coordination with the state government so that there is no hoarding or black marketing. Honorable Speaker, sir, Alternate fuel options are being activated to ease pressure on LPG and gas channels. Kerosene is being made available through retail outlets and PDS channels, and fuel oil is being made available for industrial and commercial consumers. The Ministry of Environment has advised state pollution control boards to permit for the duration of this crisis period the use of biomass, RDF pellets and kerosene coal as alternate fuels for the hospitality and restaurant segment for 1 month, which would enable wider range of establishments to switch and free of LPG for priority consumers. Consumer prices have been shielded from global market conditions, despite the Saudi contract price rising 41% between July 23 and March 26. The PMUY beneficiary price has fallen 32 cents in the same period and per percent and stands at rupees 613 per 14.2 kilogram cylinder in Delhi. The non-subsidized consumer price stands at rupees 913 following the recent rupees 60 adjustment against a market-determined price of approximately rupees 987. Of the rupees 134 per cylinder adjustment required by prevailing global market conditions, the government absorbed rupees 74. The effective additional cost for a PMU by household is under 80 paise per day. Equivalent LPG prices in the neighborhood stand at rupees 1,046 in Pakistan, rupees 1,242 in Sri Lanka, and rupees 1,208 in Nepal. OMC compensation of rupees 30,000 crores has been approved against losses of approximately rupees 40,000 crores in 24-25. Honorable Speaker, sir, state governments have responded with full cooperation and active coordination. On 11 March 2026, senior OMC officials met with state government administrations across every major state: Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Goa, Odisha, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Chief Secretaries and senior officials have been briefed on the supply position, the priority sequence and the enforcement framework. District-level monitoring committees are being established. Anti-diversion raids have been conducted and cases registered in multiple states. This is cooperative federalism, responding to a national challenge with the coordinated demand. Honorable Speaker, sir, this is not the moment for rumor mongering or fake narratives. India is navigating the most severe global energy disruption in recorded history. Crude supply is flowing, gas is prioritized for homes and farms, LPG production has been stepped up by 28%. Consumer prices are held far below what makes markets and regional competitors and dictate. Schools are open. Petrol is on the forecourt. Every citizen, regardless of political affiliation, has a stake in that. India must stand united behind the energy warriors, behind the institution managing the crisis, and behind the national interest. The record of preparation and the record of response speak for themselves. I thank you, sir.
माननीय सदस्यगण, माननीय प्रतिपक्ष के विपक्ष के नेता ने जिस विषय का नोटिस दिया था, देश में गैस की कमी के संबंध में, नोटिस की प्रति मेरे हाथ में है और जिस विषय पर नोटिस दिया था मैंने उस विषय पर उनको बोलने का अवसर दिया, लेकिन प्रतिपक्ष के जिम्मेदार नेता होने के बाद भी बिना नोटिस के किसी अन्य मुद्दों पर चर्चा करना ये संसद की प्रक्रियाओं और नियमों के तहत नहीं है। अगर आपको किसी पर आरोप लगाना है तो आप नियम 353 के तहत नोटिस दें। मैं अगर इजाजत देता हूं तो आप बोलें, लेकिन ये तरीका कि आप नोटिस किस विषय पर देते हो और किस विषय पर मुद्दे पर बोलते हो, ये कोई संसदीय आचरण ठीक नहीं है। मैं फिर आग्रहपूर्वक कह रहा हूं, और इस तरीके से संसद नहीं चलेगी, संसद नियम प्रक्रियाओं चलेगी। मैंने सुबह भी कहा था, आज भी दृढ़ता से कह रहा हूं कि संसद नियम प्रक्रिया से ही चलती है, किसी को भी कोई विशेष अधिकार नहीं है। आप जाइए, आप अपनी अपनी सीट पर जाइए, मत जाइए। आपको महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर, वित्त विधेयक पर आपको बीच में रोककर सदन की मर्यादाओं के अनुसार प्रतिपक्ष को मौका दिया। आप कहते हैं प्रतिपक्ष के सदस्यों को मौका नहीं दिया जाता, बीच में चर्चा में आपको रोक के मौका दिया। यह तरीका आपका ठीक है क्या? यह संसदीय परंपरा के अनुसार है क्या? आप नोटिस किस बात का देते हो और किसे भी स्वीकार है, यह उचित नहीं है। नो।
Honorable members, you have been elected by the people to represent their concerns in this house, not to create disruption. I will appeal to Venugopal ji कि please kindly you ask to your people, they should vacate the bell. क्योंकि this is not the way. So kindly just I will allow you. I will allow you. Please, I will allow. It is my promise. I will allow. Just you ask him. Please kindly vacate the bell. I will allow you. मैं करूँगा, वैकेट कर दीजिए। मैं आपको अलाउ करूँगा। इसी पे एक निशिकांत जी का भी नोटिस है, उनका ले लेते हैं, फिर मैं आपको भी अलाउ करूँगा। निशिकांत जी, मैं आपको अलाउ करूँगा। आई विल अलाउ यू ऑलरेडी। प्लीज आप वैकेट करो।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय।
आप आ जाइए। आई विल अलाउ यू।
ये जो वोकेशनल लीडर ऑफ प्रोपेगेंडा है सर,
काइंडली वैकेट,
इनके खिलाफ मैंने 353 और 352 में ऑलरेडी नोटिस दिया हुआ है। मैंने ये कहा है कि चाहे भारत जोड़ो यात्रा हो, चाहे सैम पित्रोदा के साथ जाने का सवाल हो, सारे पैसे सोरोस देता है। सोरोस ने 10 करोड़ रुपए दिए इसकी यात्रा के लिए। भारत जोड़ो यात्रा के लिए 100 करोड़ सोरोस ने दिए। रॉकफेलर फाउंडेशन ने पैसा दिया, यूएसएड ने पैसा दिया, और ये सारे चीज जो है मेरे पेंडिंग है। लेकिन आज जो मुख्य विषय है सर, मैंने 378 जो स्पीकर का रूल्स एंड प्रोसीजर है सर, एलपीजी की दिक्कत है, कोई परेशानी नहीं। उसके ऊपर यदि लीडर ऑफ प्रोपेगेंडा बोलना चाहते हैं, कोई परेशानी नहीं सर। लेकिन ये पार्लियामेंट पिकनिक का स्पॉट नहीं है सर। स्पीकर साहब, आपने आदेश दिया हुआ है कि मकर द्वार पर कोई धरना प्रदर्शन नहीं होगा। आपने आदेश दिया हुआ है कि कहीं भी चाय कॉफी नहीं पी जाएगी। आपने कहा हुआ है ये पिकनिक नहीं होगा। ये
मत दिखाइए।
ये है सर, देखिए इसको।
आप ये मत दिखाइए।
ये एलपीजी के लिए, आम लोगों के लिए, गरीबों के लिए जिस तरह की समस्या है, उसके लिए भी ये पिकनिक मना रहे हैं सर। चार अपने दोस्तों के साथ मिलकर ये चाय पी रहे हैं, कॉफी पी रहे हैं, हंसी मजाक कर रहे हैं, बिस्किट खा रहे हैं, टोस्ट खा रहे हैं। क्या यही अधिकार है सर? क्या स्पीकर का आदेश यही है? क्या इसी रूल्स एंड प्रोसीजर में चलेगा? मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, एलपीजी की दिक्कत है, उसके लिए भारत सरकार चिंतित है, उस पर आप मुद्दा उठाना चाहते हैं। लेकिन आप सोरोस का एजेंडा लागू करना चाहते हैं। आप यह चाहते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री सुबह ट्रंप को, दोपहर में पुतिन को, शाम में जिनपिंग को गाली दें, सभी हमारे ऊपर आक्रमण करें, और उसके बाद भारत खंडित हो जाए और आप पिकनिक बनाते रहे। पाकिस्तान आपके परिवार ने बनाया, आप देश को टुकड़े करना चाहते हैं। राहुल गांधी के ऊपर आप कार्रवाई करिए सर। जितने लोग चाय कॉफी टोस्ट पी रहे हैं, जो लोग आंदोलन के नाम पर इस तरह का नोटियाबंदी कर रहे सर। आप गरीबों को केवल दिखाने के लिए
बात आ गई 384 में सभा के भवन का उपयोग सभा की बैठकों के अतिरिक्त किसी अन्य प्रयोजन के लिए नहीं किया जाएगा। जो आपने रूल 384 कहा है, रूल 344 का, उसका हमने नोटिस ले लिया। क्या कह रहे हैं? बात आ गई, बोलिए
नहीं सर, 384 के अंतर्गत जब हम मीटिंग भी करते हैं सर, और 378 है, 384 को 378 के साथ देखिए सर। स्पीकर ने कहा है कि मकर द्वार पर कोई आंदोलन नहीं होगा। स्पीकर ने कहा है कि कोई चाय कॉफी नहीं पी जाएगी, कोई टोस्ट नहीं होगा, कोई बिस्किट नहीं होगा।
कार्रवाई 5 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
NDTV DP World PGTI returns for its 4th edition, teeing off at the KBG Club in Ahmedabad. Framed by serene vistas and a championship layout, India's leading professional golfers share the fairways with Ahmedabad's top corporate leaders in a showcase of skill, sportsmanship and connection. From pure ball striking to clutch putts on true rolling greens.
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP अर्श पे।
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Yo, मैं हूँ आपका अपना दिल्ली वाला Yo, Honey Singer. I'm bringing the music, memories, madness back to my city, जहाँ मैं पैदा हुआ और अपनी जवानी बिताई. This is my story, retold song by song, creating night Delhi will never forget. My story with NDTV Good Times, live in Delhi. One night, no repeats.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
First India tour in your city. Ragon with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
West Asia at war. Netanyahu thanks Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth.
Israel opposition leader Yair Lapid speaks to NDTV.
Is there gonna be an Iranian Gandhi who will free his own people from oppression? So it's up to them.
Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on NDTV.
Israel and US going to leave Iran in a complete chaos? Do you think that there will be a civilian leader who could take over?
Not Israel and not the US will decide who will lead the Iranian people.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
In a month that moved markets, shifted diplomacy,
the entire world,
and stirred political battlegrounds, India chose its news carefully. NDTV India and NDTV 24/7, #1 on YouTube. NDTV Network, streaming India's trust, leading India's conversations.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Raj call. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindoor.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
NDTV DP World PGTI returns for its 4th edition, teeing off at the KBG Club in Ahmedabad. Framed by serene vistas and a championship layout, India's leading professional golfers share the fairways with Ahmedabad's top corporate leaders in a showcase of skill, sportsmanship and connection. From pure ball striking to clutch putts on true rolling greens.
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no
You're watching Prime 5. I'm Gauri Dwivedi. Let's get you the big stories that we are tracking for you on day 13 of the war in West Asia that continues to escalate and continues to engulf more and more countries. But first up, a quick check of the headlines for you. First crude shipment since West Asia conflict reaches Mumbai. Liberian flagged Shellong carrying 135,000 metric tons of Saudi crude oil passed through the Strait of Hormuz on the 8th of March. US intel reports say the Iranian regime is still in control after Khamenei's death. Reports say the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, is injured. Oil facilities under attack in Gulf. US-owned tanker has attacked, even as one Indian is killed in the attacks on the oil tanker in Iraq. Another oil energy facility hit in Oman as the fuel tank was targeted in Bahrain as well. NDTV Kerala Power Play brings together the biggest voices and political players on one stage. Chief Minister Vijayan to headline the event, and from governance roadmap to ideological war, the road to elections begins only on NDTV. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla back in chair after no trust motion was defeated, denies Rahul Gandhi's charge of bias, says will always allow both opposition and government voices to speak under proper rules and norms. And National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah's first response after surviving an alleged assassination attempt questions police arrangement, says he was saved due to his own personal security guards. The show with some breaking news coming in on the broadcast. This is IDF saying that Abu Dhar Mohammadi, the operations commander in the IRGC's missile unit within Hezbollah in Beirut, has been killed. Mohammadi was a central figure coordinating between Hezbollah and the Iranian terror regime and played a key role as far as Hezbollah's missile program is concerned. We're going to connect with my colleague Mohammad Ghazali to fill us in with the very latest as far as the significance of this particular strike and elimination of a top Hezbollah commander. Ghazali.
See, this looks significant because Hezbollah already has become a depleted force. As per Israel and US intelligence, the top leadership have been eliminated since October 2023, since Hamas launched an attack in Israel. And since then, Israel has repeatedly carrying out aerial strikes, assassinations, killing its top commanders in hoping that perhaps the entire command center or the chain of command collapses within Hezbollah. But that hasn't happened. And yet again, Israel says that it's a central figure, Abuzar Mohammadi, who happens to be a commander in IRGC's missile unit within Hezbollah, and also a key figure who kind of liaisons or coordinates between IRGC and Hezbollah in Lebanon. So that also shows that Israel is going all out against any key figure or face of Hezbollah or IRGC in Lebanon. And not forget to mention that perhaps Israel has also carried out assassination of Iranian diplomats in Lebanon just a couple of days ago. So perhaps that could see or mean that it would be a perfect time for escalation in this conflict on the northern border of Israel, which shares its border with Lebanon, and Hezbollah is already firing up rockets against Israel from that particular region.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. Mohammad Ghazali filling us in with the significance of that top Hezbollah commander being killed in strike by IDF. Now, viewers, tensions are boiling in the Strait of Hormuz. That's the strategic choke point linking the Persian Gulf to global oil markets. Amidst the attacks, Tehran has threatened that if the conflict continues, we're already on day 13, oil prices could surge to $200 per barrel. Meanwhile, an India-bound vessel, Mayuri Nari, was struck in the Gulf waters, sparking a fire on board before rescue teams evacuated nearly 20 crew members. External Affairs Ministry has strongly condemned the targeting of commercial shipping, calling for all parties to avoid attacks and warning that such incidents have already cost lives in previous strikes. Over the past 2 weeks, multiple tankers and cargo ships have been hit across the Gulf. The escalating attacks have effectively turned the Strait of Hormuz into one of the most volatile maritime flashpoints in the world. And this is having an impact on every country around the world. Shipping lines, crude oil, all of it has been completely paralyzed.
Known as among the youngsters, sir, and also they famously Legislative Assembly and how you walked inside with blood-stained shirt. Those are memories that a lot of youngsters associate with. But let me also ask Rahul Kaval as well as Veera Raghav to felicitate Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, with this shawl. All right, sir. So as I was pointing out, I also grew up in Kerala, and you know, a lot of people call you a lot of names, as I said. Keralathile Kapitan, which means Kerala's captain. And there are several names that all of these people call you with Vikasana Nayagan, which is the development hero. And they also remember that one particular episode during emergency when he went inside the assembly with the blood-stained shirt. And they've all been talking about that. I know that happened ages ago, but still all of these young students talk about those moments, which of course are pivotal moments as far as Kerala's political history is concerned. Namaskaram, sir, and I welcome Veera Raghav to give that speech, welcome speech for Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're deeply honored to have with us today the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, Sir, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan. I asked an old Kerala journalist, a leftist journalist, to describe you. And these are his words. He said, "You're the rare comrade without a beard, the octogenarian with the energy of a young man who's walking strong and firm as you lead the left into the 2026 Assembly election campaign. Your personality, sir, defied anti-incumbency in 2021. And as you march into the 2026 LDF campaign, there are many, many questions. There is perhaps no more powerful political personality in Kerala besides you, but there are serious economic, political, ideological questions with national repercussions. And I hope your speech here will set the stage for several questions that we've raised since morning in our conversations in terms of both the prediction for Kerala, the road ahead for Kerala, economically, politically, ideologically, and also personally for you. May I welcome you to the podium, sir, to deliver your address to our audience here.
No. Honorable guests, delegates, and other dignitaries. At the outset, let me congratulate NDTV for having taken this initiative to have a conclave that focuses on the uniqueness of Kerala. We stand at a significant juncture in the history of our state. Over the past decade, Kerala has witnessed a profound transformation, not just in its physical landscape, but in its very spirit of resilience. When our government first took office, we made a solemn promise to build a Kerala that is inclusive, modern, and secular. Today, we look back at the milestones of these 10 years and see a state that has turned unprecedented crisis into stepping stones for progress. Our vision is Nava Kerala, New Kerala, where world-class infrastructure meets grassroots welfare and the dignity of every citizen is protected. The true character of a society is tested in times of crisis. Kerala stood firm against the Nipah virus, survived the flood of the century in 2018, and led the nation's fight against COVID-19. This spirit of solidarity guided our response to the landslide tragedy in Wayanad. We are not just providing relief, we are building a world-class climate-resilient Wayanad township. I am proud to share that we have recently inaugurated phase 1 of this township, where 178 families are beginning a new life in secure, dignified homes. There is a testament to our speed and our commitment. We do not just promise, we deliver. Development is meaningless if it does not reach the doorstep of the poorest. After 4 years of rigorous interventions, Kerala is now a state with zero extreme poverty. By identifying every family in distress and providing tailored microplans for food, health, and housing, we have ensured that no citizen lives in the shadow of absolute deprivation. Simultaneously, our life mission has provided secure homes to 5 lakh families, restoring the human rights of the landless and the homeless. Our engine of growth is powered by our own determination. Despite the financial squeeze by the Union government, we leveraged KIFBI, Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board, to pump unprecedented expenditure into the state's development. The transformation of NH66 into a world-class corridor is a shining example. While it is a national highway, Kerala took the historic step of paying the sender nearly rupees 6,000 crores for land acquisition. We refused to let our development be stalled by central neglect. This is the Kerala model, investing our own resources to ensure our people get the infrastructure they deserve. From the commissioning of the Vizhinjam International Seaport to the launch of South Asia's first water metro, we are redefining modern transit. In Navakeralam, internet access is a basic human right. Through KPhone, Kerala Fiber Optic Network, we have dismantled private monopolies by providing high-speed internet to government offices and over 1 lakh economically backward households for free. We have turned the digital divide into a digital highway for our youth. In education, we invested over rupees 5,000 crores to modernize our schools. Today, Kerala boasts 55,000 high-tech classrooms. We are democratizing the future by providing robotic kits to 4.5 lakh students across 9,000 schools. Whether a child is in a coastal village or a high-range hamlet, the government have equipped them with the tools to master AI and robotics, preparing them for the fourth industrial revolution. Our health sector remains a global marvel with an infant mortality rate of 5, outperforming developed nations like the United States. While we celebrate these achievements, we must remain vigilant. In an era of exclusionary politics, Kerala stands as a shield for constitutional rights. We remain firm against the NRC and NPR. To eliminate the anxiety of statelessness, we passed the Kerala Nativity Card Bill 2026, ensuring that every resident has an authoritative document of their belonging. We also raise our voice for global justice. We condemn the imperialist aggressions in the Middle East, particularly the attacks on Iran and the genocide in Palestine, supported by global powers. Furthermore, the SIR process, which has led to the deletion of 1.7 crore voters across various states, is a direct attack on the constitutional right to vote, a move Kerala will resist at every turn. Navakeralam is not a destination. It is a journey toward a sustainable, green, and high-tech state. Despite financial constraints and challenges to federalism, we will not back down. We have seen attempts to malign us through orchestrated hate campaigns like the Kerala story. But the real Kerala story is written in our communal harmony and our zero-poverty villages. Together, we shall build a Navakeralam that serves as a beacon of hope for the entire world. Thank you.
We'll ask. Thank you very much for that speech, sir. As we head into Navakeralam, you have detailed most of the issues. I want to ask with a personal question, and I will try in my Malayalam. Tangalante biggest strength ennaano? Tangalante biggest weakness ennaano?
ഈ കാര്യത്തിൽ വീക്ക്നെസ്സിൻ്റെ പ്രശ്നം വരുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. ഇത് കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ മുന്നോട്ട് പോക്കിൻ്റെ കാര്യമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആ കാര്യത്തിൽ എല്ലാവരും ഒന്നിച്ച് നിന്ന് ഒരു കാര്യത്തിന് ഒരേ ലക്ഷ്യത്തോടെ പോകാൻ കഴിയുമെന്ന് തന്നെയാണ് പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുന്നത്. നാട് വലിയ തോതിൽ വികസനം ആഗ്രഹിക്കുകയാണ്. ആ വികസനം എല്ലാ ജനങ്ങളും പിന്താങ്ങുന്നതാണ്. രാഷ്ട്രീയമായിട്ടുള്ള ചേരിതിരിവൊന്നും അതിന് തടസ്സമായിട്ട് വരുന്നില്ല. നാടിന് വികസനം വേണം എന്നെല്ലാവരും ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അത് തെളിയിക്കപ്പെട്ടൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. ഈ കഴിഞ്ഞ 10 വർഷക്കാലം കേരളം ഏതെല്ലാം മേഖലകളിൽ മുൻപോട്ട് പോയി എന്നത് തെളിയിക്കപ്പെട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നാട്, ജനങ്ങൾ ഇനിയും നല്ല രീതിയിൽ വികസനം മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകണമെന്ന് തന്നെയാണ് ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നത്.
Chief Minister, thank you so much for joining us at the NDTV Power Play in Thiruvananthapuram. At this moment, there are lakhs of people from your state across West Asia who find themselves caught in this battle between Iran and Israel and the United States. What's your message to people from your state, and what does it suggest about the politics and the economy of Kerala, that so many youngsters, this brain drain from Kerala to West Asia, and what is your government's plan if you get a third chance to come in power to ensure that young Malayalis don't need to leave your state and head to West Asia, sir?
Sorry, I will speak in Malayalam.
Yes.
ഇത് വളരെ വിശദമായി മറുപടി പറയേണ്ട ഒരു ചോദ്യമാണ്. ഒരു 1-2 മിനിറ്റ് കൊണ്ട് തീരേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യമല്ല യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ ഈ ചോദ്യത്തിനുള്ള ഉത്തരം. നമ്മുടെ ലോകത്തിപ്പോൾ വന്നിട്ടുള്ള അസ്വാസ്ഥ്യം അത് ബോധപൂർവം സൃഷ്ടിച്ചതാണല്ലോ. ആ സൃഷ്ടിച്ചത് ഇറാന് നേരെ നടത്തിയ ഏകപക്ഷീയമായ ആക്രമണമാണ്. നമ്മൾ ജനങ്ങൾ തമ്മിൽ പാലിക്കുന്ന, വ്യക്തികൾ തമ്മിൽ പാലിക്കുന്ന മര്യാദ പോലെ തന്നെ രാഷ്ട്രങ്ങൾ തമ്മിലും കൃത്യമായി പാലിച്ചു പോകേണ്ട മര്യാദകളുണ്ട്. ആ മര്യാദയാണ് ഇവിടെ പൂർണ്ണമായി ലംഘിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഒരു രാഷ്ട്രത്തിൻ്റെ പരമാധികാരം അത് ലംഘിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മറ്റൊരു രാഷ്ട്രത്തിന് കടന്നു ചെല്ലാമോ? ഇപ്പോൾ ഇറാൻ എന്ന ഒരു രാഷ്ട്രം, ആ രാഷ്ട്രത്തിൻ്റെ ഭരണാധികാരികളുടെ നിലപാടിനോട് അഭിപ്രായ വ്യത്യാസമുണ്ടാകാൻ ചിലർക്ക്, അവിടുത്തെ നയങ്ങളോട് ഭിന്നതയുണ്ടാകാം. പക്ഷേ ആ ഭിന്നതയുണ്ട് എന്നുള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് ഏകപക്ഷീയമായി ഒരു രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ മറ്റൊരു രാജ്യം കടന്നു ചെന്ന് ആക്രമിച്ച് മറ്റൊരു രൂപം ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റുമോ? അത് അനുവദനീയമായ കാര്യമല്ല. ഇവിടെ യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ സംഭവിച്ച കാര്യം എന്താണ്? ഇവിടെ പരിശോധിച്ചാൽ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ കഴിയുക, അമേരിക്കൻ സാമ്രാജ്യത്വത്തിൻ്റെ ലോക പോലീസ് ചമയലിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് വരുന്ന കാര്യമാണിത്. ഓരോ രാജ്യത്തെയും തങ്ങളുടെ കൂടെ നിർത്തുക, തങ്ങൾക്ക് വിധേയമായി നിൽക്കുക, ഇതാണ് അമേരിക്ക ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്ന കാര്യം. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇറാൻ്റെ കാര്യം എടുത്താൽ, ഇറാനിൽ നേരത്തെ അമേരിക്കയുടെ ഒരു ഇടപെടലുണ്ടായതാണ്. അത് എൻ്റെ ഓർമ്മ ശരിയാണെങ്കിൽ 1952 അന്ന് അമേരിക്കൻ ഇടപെടലിലൂടെ അവിടെ ഷായുടെ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിനെ അവരോധിച്ചു. ഷായുടെ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിനെ അവരോധിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒറ്റ ഉദ്ദേശമേ അവർക്കുള്ളൂ, അമേരിക്ക ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഇറാനിൽ നടക്കണം. അതിനനുസൃതമായ ഭരണ നടപടികളാണ് ഷായുടെ നേതൃത്വത്തിൽ സ്വീകരിച്ചത്. അവിടുത്തെ ജനങ്ങൾ കഠിനമായ എതിർപ്പുയർത്തിക്കൊണ്ടുവന്നു. ഒരു 25 വർഷത്തോളം ആ ഷായുടെ ഗവൺമെൻറ് അവിടെ തുറന്നു. പക്ഷേ സൈകെട്ട ജനങ്ങൾ അതിനെതിരെ രംഗത്തിറങ്ങി. അങ്ങനെ 1979 തോന്നുന്നു, അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഷായെ പുറത്താക്കി. ഷായെ പുറത്താക്കിയപ്പോൾ ഷാ മാത്രമല്ല പുറത്തായത്, അമേരിക്കൻ താല്പര്യവും പുറത്തായി. അങ്ങനെ വന്നപ്പോൾ അന്ന് തൊട്ട് അമേരിക്ക ആ രാജ്യത്തിനെതിരെ തിരിയുകയാണ്. അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഘട്ടത്തിലാണ് കഴിഞ്ഞ കുറച്ച് നാൾ മുൻപ് ഒരു 12 ദിവസം നീണ്ടുനിന്ന യുദ്ധം നടന്നത്. ആ യുദ്ധം ഇസ്രയേലാണ് നടത്തിയത്, അമേരിക്കയുടെ പിന്തുണയോടെയാണ് നടത്തിയത്. ആ യുദ്ധത്തിൽ ഇസ്രയേൽ അവസാനം അവകാശപ്പെട്ടത് ഇറാൻ്റെ കയ്യിലുള്ള ആണവശേഷിയൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾ നശിപ്പിച്ചു എന്നാണ്. ഇറാൻ്റെ കയ്യിലുള്ള ആണവശേഷി നശിപ്പിച്ചു എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഇറാൻ്റെ കയ്യിലുള്ള ആണവശേഷിയെപ്പറ്റി ഉത്കണ്ഠപ്പെടുന്നവരുടെ ആ രാജ്യങ്ങളുടെ നില എന്താണ്? ഇപ്പോൾ അമേരിക്ക ആയാലും അമേരിക്കയുടെ കയ്യിൽ ലോകത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ അണവായുധങ്ങളാണല്ലോ ഉള്ളത്. തങ്ങൾക്കാകാം, നിങ്ങൾക്കായിക്കൂടാ എന്നതാണല്ലോ അമേരിക്കയുടെ നിലപാട്. ഏതായാലും ഇസ്രയേലിൻ്റെ ആക്രമണത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി ഇത് മുഴുവൻ തകർക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ എന്തിനാണ് ഇപ്പം വീണ്ടും ആക്രമണം നടത്തിയത്? അന്ന് ആ യുദ്ധം കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഇപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് സംഭവിച്ചത്? ഒരു രാജ്യത്ത് കടന്ന് ആ രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ പരമോന്നത പരമാധികാരിയെയും കുടുംബത്തെയും പൂർണ്ണമായി കൊലപ്പെടുത്തില്ലേ ചെയ്തു? എത്രമാത്രം തെറ്റായൊരു കാര്യമാണെന്ന് ആലോചിക്കണം നമ്മൾ. അമേരിക്കയുടെ കയ്യിൽ ആയുധങ്ങളുണ്ട്, ശേഷിയുണ്ട്, ശക്തിയുണ്ട്, തങ്ങൾ വിചാരിച്ചതെല്ലാം നടത്തും എന്നൊരു നിലപാടല്ലേ സ്വീകരിച്ചു പോകുന്നു? ഇത് ലോകത്തിന് അംഗീകരിക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്നൊരു കാര്യമാണ്, ആർക്കെങ്കിലും അംഗീകരിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അത്തരം ഒരു ഏകപക്ഷീയമായ നടപടി സ്വീകരിച്ചത് തീർത്തും തെറ്റായ കാര്യമാണ്. ഇതുപോലുള്ള ഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഇടപെടേണ്ടത് സാധാരണ നിലക്ക് ഐക്യരാഷ്ട്രസഭയാണ്. ഐക്യരാഷ്ട്രസഭ അമേരിക്ക അംഗീകരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അമേരിക്കക്ക് വേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങൾ അംഗീകരിക്കുക എന്നല്ലാതെ അമേരിക്കക്കെതിരായിട്ടുള്ള എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു കാര്യം ഐക്യരാഷ്ട്രസഭ പറഞ്ഞാൽ അത് അംഗീകരിക്കാൻ അമേരിക്ക തയ്യാറുണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി ഐക്യരാഷ്ട്രസഭയ്ക്ക് പല വിലയും കൽപ്പിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ ഐക്യരാഷ്ട്രസഭയുടെ ഒരു അന്വേഷണ സമിതി ഇറാനിൽ ഒരു തരത്തിലുള്ള അണവായുധ കൂമ്പാരവുമില്ല, അണവായുധങ്ങളില്ല എന്ന് സർട്ടിഫൈ ചെയ്തല്ലോ. അത് അമേരിക്ക അംഗീകരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ ലോകത്ത് നടക്കുന്ന ഇത്തരം പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾക്ക് അമേരിക്കയുടെ നിലപാടാണ് കാരണം. നിർഭാഗ്യകരമായ ഒരു വശം, നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യം എല്ലാ ഘട്ടത്തിലും നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു സൽപാരമ്പര്യമുണ്ട്. നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് കാണുന്ന ഈ സൗകര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് ലഭിച്ചത് സാമ്രാജ്യത്വ അധിനിവേശത്തിനെതിരെ പോരാടി നാം നേടിയ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായാണ്. ബ്രിട്ടീഷ് സാമ്രാജ്യത്തിനെതിരെ വിട്ടുവീഴ്ചയില്ലാത്ത പോരാട്ടമാണ് ഇന്ത്യൻ ജനത നടത്തിയത്. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം ലഭിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യാനന്തര ഇന്ത്യ ലോകം വലിയ തോതിൽ അംഗീകരിച്ച ഒരു രാഷ്ട്രമാണ്. നമ്മുടെ ആയുധബലം കൊണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല, നമ്മുടെ സാമ്പത്തിക ശേഷി കൊണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല, നമ്മുടെ നയമായിരുന്നു കാരണം. ആ നയം ചേരിചേരാ നയം എന്നാണ് പേരെങ്കിലും അതിൻ്റെ സത്ത സാമ്രാജ്യത്വ വിരുദ്ധമായിരുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ രാഷ്ട്രം ലോകത്തിലെ മൂന്നാം ലോക രാഷ്ട്രങ്ങളോടൊപ്പമായിരുന്നു. സാമ്രാജ്യത്വ വിരുദ്ധ പ്രസ്ഥാനങ്ങൾ അതിനോടൊപ്പമായിരുന്നു. പുതുതായി സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം നേടിയ രാജ്യങ്ങളോടൊപ്പമായിരുന്നു. അതിൻ്റെ എല്ലാം ഭാഗമായി ഇന്ത്യ വലിയ തോതിൽ അംഗീകാരം നേടിയ ഒരു രാഷ്ട്രമായിരുന്നു ലോകരംഗത്ത്. അത് സാമ്രാജ്യത്വ വിരുദ്ധ സമീപനത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായാണ്. പക്ഷേ പിന്നീട് നമുക്കത് കൈമോശം വന്നു. ആ കൈമോശം വന്ന് ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടം വരെ എത്തി. എന്താ നമ്മുടെ പരമാധികാരത്തിൻ്റെ അവസ്ഥ? നിങ്ങൾക്ക് റഷ്യയിൽ നിന്ന് എണ്ണ വാങ്ങണമെങ്കിൽ 30 ദിവസത്തേക്കുള്ള ചീട്ട് അമേരിക്കയിൽ നിന്ന് വാങ്ങണം, അമേരിക്ക അനുമതി തരണം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എവിടെ നമ്മുടെ പരമാധികാരം? എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചു നമ്മുടെ പരമാധികാരത്തിന്? എവിടത്തേക്കാണ് നാം പോകുന്നത്? നമുക്കെന്തിന് നിങ്ങളുടെ ചീട്ട് വേണം എന്ന് ചോദിക്കണ്ടേ? അത് ചോദിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? ഇതല്ലേ പ്രശ്നം. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ ലോകരംഗത്തുള്ള അശാന്തിക്ക് കാരണം അമേരിക്കൻ സാമ്രാജ്യത്വം സ്വീകരിക്കുന്ന നിലപാടാണ്. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ടാണ് പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ ഈ രീതിയിൽ ഉയർന്നു വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. അതിനെതിരെ ശക്തമായ നിലപാട് നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തിന് സ്വീകരിച്ചു പോകാൻ കഴിയണം. യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ നമ്മുടെ രാഷ്ട്രം പഴയ നമ്മുടെ നിലപാടിലേക്ക് തിരിച്ചു പോകേണ്ടതായിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്തുമാണ് അതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് പറയാനുള്ളത്. നിങ്ങൾ ചോദിച്ച ചോദ്യം, നമ്മുടെ ധാരാളം സഹോദരങ്ങൾ ഗൾഫ് മേഖലയിൽ ജോലിയെടുക്കുന്നവരാണ്. അവർക്ക് അവരുടേതായ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി വരുന്നുണ്ടെന്നുള്ളത് ശരിയാണ്. അത് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ പരിഹരിക്കുന്നതിനുള്ള ഇടപെടൽ സംസ്ഥാന ഗവൺമെൻറ് എന്ന നിലക്ക് വളരെ പരിമിതമായിട്ട് നടത്താൻ കഴിയും. എന്നാലും കഴിയാവുന്ന രീതിയിൽ ഞങ്ങളത് നടത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ഇന്ത്യ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റാണ് നടത്തേണ്ടത്. ഇന്ത്യ ഗവൺമെൻറ് ശ്രദ്ധയിൽപ്പെടുത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇന്ത്യൻ എംബസികളുമായി സഹകരിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിർവഹിക്കാൻ നമ്മളും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, സംസ്ഥാന സർക്കാരും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അവിടെയുള്ള മലയാളി സഹോദരങ്ങൾ വിവിധ സംഘടനകൾ എന്ന നിലക്ക് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ആ സംഘടനകളിലെല്ലാം പ്രതിനിധികൾ എംബസിയുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ട്. ആവശ്യമായ സഹായങ്ങൾ എല്ലാം നൽകുന്ന നില ഇപ്പോൾ അവർ സ്വീകരിക്കുന്നുമുണ്ട്. അവരുമായിട്ടെല്ലാം ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടൊരു യോഗം മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി എന്ന നിലയ്ക്ക് ഞാൻ നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. അവരെല്ലാം ഇതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട അഭിപ്രായങ്ങൾ പ്രകടിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിൽ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യം ആവശ്യമായ സഹായങ്ങൾ എംബസി മുഖേന എത്തിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അതവരിപ്പോൾ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട്
We are providing enough assistance to those concerned via embassies. We have spoken to stakeholders in order to help those who are impacted by the war.
If the war prolongs in the Gulf, West Asia war if it prolongs for a long period of time, would you say that Kerala would possibly be extremely vulnerable in terms of economic impact?
ധാരാളം പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ വരുമല്ലോ. ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങൾ ഈ യോഗം കഴിഞ്ഞ ഉടനെ ഞാൻ പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ പോകുന്നൊരു യോഗം നമ്മുടെ പാചകവാതക വിതരണക്കാരുടെ യോഗമാണ്. കാരണം ഗ്യാസ് സിലിണ്ടറുകൾ എത്ര കിട്ടുമെന്ന് ഇപ്പോൾ ഉറപ്പില്ലായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അവരുമായിട്ട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് എന്താണ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക, എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ് എന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ ആലോചിക്കാൻ പോവുകയാണ്. എങ്ങനെയാണ് പരിഹാരം. ഇപ്പോൾ പ്രഖ്യാപിക്കപ്പെട്ടുള്ള കാര്യം വെച്ചാൽ ഹോട്ടലുകൾക്ക് സിലിണ്ടർ എത്ര കിട്ടും, വീടുകളിൽ 25 ദിവസം കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മാത്രമേ ഈ പറയുന്ന പ്രത്യേകത വെച്ചാൽ എല്ലാ വീടുകളിലും സിലിണ്ടർ നല്ലോണം ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതാണ്. അനാവശ്യമായിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നില്ലല്ലോ, ആവശ്യത്തിന് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതാണല്ലോ. അതൊരു രീതിയായിട്ട് വന്നല്ലോ. ഇപ്പോൾ റംസാൻ മാസമായതുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ മുസ്ലിം സഹോദരങ്ങളുടെ വീടുകളിലൊക്കെ വലിയ തോതിൽ ഈ ഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഗ്യാസൊക്കെ ആവശ്യമായിട്ട് വരുന്നൊരു ഘട്ടമാണ്. അവരെല്ലാം വലിയ പ്രയാസത്തിലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് നീണ്ടുപോയാൽ ഇവിടത്തേക്ക് അങ്ങനെ വന്നാൽ എന്താണ് ആ കാര്യങ്ങൾ സ്വാഭാവികമായിട്ട് ആലോചിക്കേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും. ആലോചിക്കാൻ തന്നെയാണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. ആ നടപടികളിലേക്ക് കടക്കുക. വലിയ തോതിലുള്ള ഇവിടെയുള്ള എയർപോർട്ടുകൾ നോക്കിയാൽ ആ എയർപോർട്ടുകളിലൂടെ ഗൾഫ് മേഖലയിലേക്ക് പോകുന്ന പച്ചക്കറികൾ, ഭക്ഷ്യസാധനങ്ങൾ എല്ലാം വലിയ തോതിലല്ലേ. അതെല്ലാം ഇപ്പോൾ സ്തംഭിച്ചിരിക്കല്ലേ, അതൊക്കെ മുടങ്ങിയിരിക്കല്ലേ, അതൊക്കെ നഷ്ടത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാഗങ്ങളല്ലേ. അങ്ങനെ ഒരുപാട് പ്രയാസങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് വന്നു ചേർന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെന്നുള്ള ഒരു വസ്തുതയാണ്.
Mr. Vijayan, for decades the CPIM was one of the most formidable political formations in this country. The left ruled states like West Bengal and Tripura, apart from Kerala. Now it's only in God's own country that the left and the CPM in particular stands as a fighting political formation in a position to be potentially able to form a government. Do you accept that the left in general and the CPM seems to have got disconnected from the youth of the country at this moment, especially in states outside Kerala? Why do you think that is happening? Do you believe this can be reversed, or is the Marxist ideology in India now in terminal decline? When your opposition came, when VD Satish and Ramesh Chintala came, they almost seemed to be speaking as if they've already won. How confident are you that you can reverse the electoral history of Kerala and do a hat-trick, do a Sanju Samson for your party in this state, in this election, sir?
ഇതിലൊക്കെ കുറച്ച് ഒരു 5 വർഷം മുൻപുള്ളൊരു കാര്യം നമ്മളൊന്ന് ആലോചിച്ചാൽ മതി. അത് 2021 2021 വരെ കേരളത്തിലുണ്ടായിരുന്ന പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് 1980 ശേഷം ഒരു ഗവൺമെൻറ്, ഒരു മുന്നണി. ആ ഗവൺമെൻറ് അടുത്ത തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് വരുമ്പോൾ ആ മുന്നണി പോയി മറ്റൊരു മുന്നണി. അധികാരത്തിൽ വരുന്ന നിലയായിരുന്നു. ഇത് 1980 ശേഷം 2016 വരെ തുറന്നു വന്നൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. 2016 ഞങ്ങൾ ഗവൺമെൻറ് അധികാരത്തിൽ വന്നു. അന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ അധികാരത്തിൽ വരുമ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ അവസ്ഥ പരമദയനീയമായിരുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ ദയനീയമായൊരു സംസ്ഥാനമല്ല കേരളം. കേരളം പല കാര്യങ്ങളിലും നേരത്തെ തന്നെ യശസ്സ് നേടിയൊരു സംസ്ഥാനമാണ്. പക്ഷേ സംസ്ഥാനത്തിൻ്റെ കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ താല്പര്യമില്ലാത്തതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി തന്നെ സംസ്ഥാനം എല്ലാ രംഗങ്ങളിലും പുറകോട്ട് പോയി. ഇപ്പോൾ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗം, അന്നത്തെ പൊതുവിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗം വൻതോതിൽ പുറകോട്ട് പോയൊരു ഘട്ടമായിരുന്നു. 1000-ഓളം സ്കൂളുകൾ അടച്ചുപൂട്ടാൻ ലീസ്റ്റ് ഇട്ട കാലം. പൊതുവിദ്യാലയങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന്
that after the left government came into power, they did much to enhance education system.
പൊതുവിദ്യാഭ്യാസ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളാകെ പൂട്ടിപ്പോകുമെന്ന ഭീതി എല്ലാവരിലും നിലനിൽക്കുന്ന കാര്യം.
At a time when there was a threat that education institutions will be shut,
ഏറ്റവും
we stepped in.
ശ്രദ്ധേയമായ ഒരു രംഗമായിരുന്നു കേരളത്തിലെ ആരോഗ്യരംഗം. പക്ഷേ 2016 ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന അവസ്ഥ കേരളത്തിലെ ആരോഗ്യ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളെല്ലാം പരമദയനീയ സ്ഥിതിയിലായിരുന്നു.
Health sector was in miserable state until 2016, and then we came to power and changed it.
സൗകര്യങ്ങളില്ല, എല്ലാ തരത്തിലും അവഗണിക്കപ്പെട്ടൊരവസ്ഥ, വലിയ പരിതാപകരമായ അവസ്ഥ. ഇങ്ങനെയൊരു നിലയുള്ളപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നാടിൻ്റെ പൊതുവായ വികസനം, ആ വികസന കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ വല്ലാതെ പുറകോട്ട് പോയി. കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത, ഈ കേരളീയർ രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ പല ഭാഗങ്ങളിലും ലോകത്തിൻ്റെ പല ഭാഗങ്ങളിലും ജീവിക്കുന്നവരാണ്. അത് ഒറ്റക്കൊറ്റക്കല്ല, ലക്ഷക്കണക്കിന് ആളുകളാണ് രാജ്യത്തിന് പുറത്ത്. നാട്ടിലേക്ക് വരുമ്പോൾ അവർ നാട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് പോകുമ്പോഴുള്ള അതേ അവസ്ഥയിൽ തന്നെ നാട് നിൽക്കുകയാണ്. അവർ ജീവിക്കുന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് വലിയ മുന്നേറ്റം ഉണ്ടാകുന്നു, പുരോഗതി ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുന്നു. എൻ്റെ നാട് ഇങ്ങനെയായിപ്പോയല്ലോ എന്ന വേവലാതി അവസാനം ഒരു മാറ്റം ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. നമ്മളെ നാടിലായിരുന്നു അവർ. നാട്ടിൽ നിരാശ, ഒരു മാറ്റവും നാട്ടിന് വരില്ല. പക്ഷേ 2016 ഞങ്ങൾ അധികാരത്തിൽ വന്നതിന് ശേഷം ഞങ്ങൾ സ്വീകരിച്ച നിലപാട് നാടിൻ്റെ പുരോഗതിക്ക് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള ഇടപെടലാണ്. ഇപ്പം വിശദമായിട്ട് ആ കാര്യങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല. സ്തംഭിച്ചു പോയ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ, അതിലൊന്നാണ് നമ്മുടെ നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേ വികസനം. നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേ വികസനം വെറുതെ സ്തംഭിച്ചു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ പോരാ. നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേ അതോറിറ്റി തന്നെ ഇവിടെ ഒന്നും നടക്കില്ല എന്ന മട്ടിൽ പുറത്തു പോയതാണ്. ഇവിടുന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ വന്ന് ആ നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേ വികസനത്തിന് വേണ്ടി നടപടികൾ സ്വീകരിച്ചു. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ എൻ്റെ സംസാരത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഒരു നിർദ്ദേശം വെക്കുകയാണ്. ഞങ്ങൾക്കെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല ഈ ഭൂമി. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഒരിടത്തും നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേക്കുള്ള ഭൂമി സംസ്ഥാന സർക്കാർ എടുത്തിട്ടില്ല. നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേ തന്നെ എടുക്കലാണ്. പക്ഷേ കേരളത്തോട് പറഞ്ഞു നിങ്ങളെടുക്കണം. സാധിക്കില്ല എന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞു. തർക്കമായി. അവസാനം ഒത്തുതീർപ്പ് സംഭാഷണമായി. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേക്ക് വേണ്ടി എടുക്കുന്ന സ്ഥലത്തിൻ്റെ 25% വില കൊടുക്കാമെന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സമ്മതിക്കേണ്ടി വന്നു. ഞങ്ങളതിന് നിർബന്ധിതമായി. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് നിർബന്ധിതമായത്? ആ ഭൂമി ഏറ്റെടുക്കാൻ നേരത്തെ തയ്യാറാകാത്തതുകൊണ്ട്. ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് നാടിൻ്റെ പുരോഗതിക്കുണ്ടായ തടസ്സങ്ങൾ. ഏതായാലും കാര്യങ്ങൾ മുന്നോട്ട് പോയി. ഇപ്പോൾ നാഷണൽ ഹൈവേ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ പൂർത്തിയാക്കപ്പെടുക, നല്ല നിലക്ക് മുന്നേ ചില റീച്ചുകൾ പൂർത്തിയായി. 2016 മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിയായി സ്ഥാനമേറ്റെടുത്തതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി ഇന്ത്യൻ പ്രധാനമന്ത്രിയെ ഒരു കേഴ്സി കോളം നൽകി ഞാൻ പോയി കണ്ടിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം എന്നോട് ചോദിച്ചൊരു ചോദ്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. കേരളത്തിൽ ഗെയിൽ പൈപ്പ് ലൈൻ വരുന്നില്ലല്ലോ, ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ നാട്ടിൽ നേരത്തെ വന്നല്ലോ, എന്താ നിങ്ങളവിടെ കൊണ്ടുവരാത്തത്? അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് മറുപടി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ചോദ്യം ശരിയായിരുന്നു. മറ്റ് സംസ്ഥാനങ്ങളോടൊപ്പം കേരളത്തിലും വന്നൊരു പ്രൊപ്പോസലായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ കേരളത്തിൽ നടപ്പാക്കാനായില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു അടുത്ത തവണ കാണുമ്പോൾ പറയാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. തീർത്തും മുടങ്ങിപ്പോയതാണ്. ഗെയില് നാട് വിട്ടു പോയതാണ്, ഇവിടുന്ന് കേരളം വിട്ടുപോയതാണ്. ഞങ്ങൾ അത് നടപ്പാക്കി. ഇപ്പോൾ ആ പൈപ്പിലൂടെ, ഇപ്പോഴല്ല നേരത്തെ തന്നെ പൈപ്പിലൂടെ ഗ്യാസ് പ്രവഹിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇതുപോലെ നാടിൻ്റെ വികസനത്തിന് ആവശ്യമായ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പൊതുവിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗത്ത് വന്ന മാറ്റം എല്ലാവരും മാറ്റം വന്നത് നാടിനോടുള്ള പ്രതിബദ്ധതയുടെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് ഇടപെടൽ വേണമല്ലോ. അതിൽ 5000 കോടിയിൽ പരം രൂപയാണ് ആ രംഗത്ത് ചെലവഴിച്ചത്. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി സ്കൂൾ കെട്ടിടങ്ങൾ, അതിലുള്ള സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ വർദ്ധിച്ചു, ലൈബ്രറികൾ വന്നു, മറ്റ് ലാബുകൾ വന്നു. ആവശ്യമായ എല്ലാ പശ്ചാത്തല സൗകര്യങ്ങളും ഒരുക്കി. നമ്മുടെ അക്കാദമിക് രംഗവും മെച്ചപ്പെട്ടു. ഇപ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ പൊതുവിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗം മറ്റേതൊരു പ്രദേശത്തെയും പൊതുവിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗത്തോട് കടപിടിക്കുന്ന അവസ്ഥയിലേക്ക് എത്തി. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നീതി ആയോഗിൻ്റെയും മറ്റും വിലയിരുത്തലിൽ കേരളം മുന്നിട്ട് നിൽക്കുക. ഇതൊക്കെ നാട് കാണുന്ന കാര്യമാണ്. നേരത്തെ 5 ലക്ഷം കുട്ടികൾ കൊഴിഞ്ഞു പോയെങ്കിൽ അതിനു പകരം 10 ലക്ഷം കുട്ടികൾ കൂടുതലായി വന്നു ചേരുന്ന അവസ്ഥയുണ്ടായി. ഇതൊക്കെ മാറ്റമാണല്ലോ. ആരോഗ്യരംഗത്ത് അതിശയകരമായ മാറ്റമാണല്ലോ. ഞങ്ങൾ നടപ്പാക്കിയ ആർദ്രം മിഷനിലൂടെ നമ്മുടെ കേരളത്തിലെ പ്രൈമറി ഹെൽത്ത് സെൻ്ററുകൾ കുടുംബാരോഗ്യ കേന്ദ്രങ്ങളായി മാറി. താലൂക്ക് ആശുപത്രികൾ മുതൽ മെഡിക്കൽ കോളേജ് ആശുപത്രി വരെ വ്യത്യസ്തമായ സൂപ്പർ സ്പെഷ്യാലിറ്റി സൗകര്യങ്ങൾ ഒരുക്കി. ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒരു തുടർച്ചയിലെ ഘട്ടത്തിലാണ് കോവിഡ് വന്നത്. കോവിഡ് വന്നപ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്താ? അത് നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യമാണ്. കോവിഡിൻ്റെ മുന്നിൽ ലോകത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സമ്പൽ സമൃദ്ധ രാഷ്ട്രങ്ങളടക്കം മുട്ടുകുത്തി വീണു. കേരളം അപ്പോഴും പിടിച്ചു നിന്നു. ഒരുക്കിയ സൗകര്യം കൊണ്ടാണ്. കോവിഡിന്റെ മൂർധന്യ ദശയിൽ കേരളത്തിലെ ആവശ്യമായത്ര ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽ ബെഡുകൾ ഒഴിവുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ICU ബെഡുകൾ ഒഴിവുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഓക്സിജൻ ബെഡുകൾ ഒഴിവുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, വെന്റിലേറ്ററുകൾ ഒഴിവുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഇതൊന്നും ലോകത്ത് പലയിടത്തും ഇല്ലാത്തൊരു കാര്യമായിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ അതെല്ലാം നേടാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? കോവിഡിന് വേണ്ടി തയ്യാറെടുത്തതല്ല. നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് ആവശ്യമായ ചികിത്സാ സൗകര്യം ലഭ്യമാകണമെന്ന ഉദ്ദേശത്തോടെ ആരോഗ്യ മേഖലയെ ശക്തിപ്പെടുത്തിയതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ടാണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ ആ വളർച്ച എവിടെയെത്തി? അതാണ് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ആമുഖ ഭാഷണത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞ ഈ നവജാത ശിശുക്കളുടെ മരണനിരക്ക്. അത് കേരളത്തിൻ്റേത് 5%, 5. അമേരിക്കയുടേത് 5.6. അപ്പോൾ കേരളം ഏത് രീതിയിൽ മെച്ചപ്പെട്ടു നിൽക്കുന്നു എന്നാണ്. എല്ലാ രംഗത്തും ഈ തരത്തിലുള്ള അഭിവൃദ്ധി കാണാൻ നമുക്ക് സാധിക്കും. ഒരു കാര്യം ആലോചിച്ചാൽ, കേരളത്തിൽ ജീവിച്ച ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾ 2016 നമ്മുടെ കേരളം ഒരു നിക്ഷേപ സൗഹൃദ സംസ്ഥാനം എന്ന നിലയിൽ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഒന്നാമതെത്തുമെന്ന് കണക്കാക്കിയിരുന്നു? ആർക്കെങ്കിലും കണക്കാക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന കാര്യമാണ്? കാരണം നമ്മൾ വളരെ പുറകിലായിരുന്നു. കേരളം ഒരു ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിക്ക് പറ്റിയ സ്ഥലമല്ല എന്നൊരു ധാരണയായിരുന്നു. ഞങ്ങളെങ്ങനെയാണ് അതിനെ എടുത്തത്? ഒരു ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിൻ്റെ പ്രാഥമികമായ ഉത്തരവാദിത്വം ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, അത് നാടിനെ മുന്നോട്ട് നയിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണല്ലോ. അപ്പോൾ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ നാടിന് ഈ നിക്ഷേപ സൗഹൃദ സംസ്ഥാനമായിക്കൂടാ? അതൊരു ചാലഞ്ചായിട്ടെടുത്തു. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് ഇടപെടലുകൾ നടന്നു. ഞാനെല്ലാം വിശദമായിട്ട് പറയുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷേ നമ്മൾ കാണേണ്ട കാര്യം, അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് എല്ലാവരുമായും ചർച്ച ചെയ്തു. ആ ചർച്ചയിലൂടെ മാറ്റേണ്ട കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അത് ഗവൺമെൻറ് മാറ്റേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, നിയമങ്ങൾ മാറേണ്ടതുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ചട്ടങ്ങൾ മാറേണ്ടതുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി 7 നിയമങ്ങൾ ഭേദഗതി ചെയ്തു, 10 ചട്ടങ്ങൾ ഭേദഗതി ചെയ്തു. നമ്മുടെ പൊതുവായ ഒരു മാനസിക ഘടനയിലും ചിലയിടങ്ങളിൽ മാറ്റം വേണ്ടതുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ആ കാര്യങ്ങളുടെ ബോധവൽക്കരണ പ്രക്രിയയും ആരംഭിച്ചു. അങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോഴേക്ക് 21 വന്നു. 21 തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിൽ ആ ഭാഗം ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ല. അന്ന് എന്തായിരുന്നു ആ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിൻ്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്നുള്ളത് വേറെ നമ്മൾ പരിശോധിക്കേണ്ടതാണ്. ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ വിശദമായിട്ട് അതിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നില്ല. ഏതായാലും ആ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിൽ ജനങ്ങൾ തീരുമാനിച്ചു LDF തന്നെ തുടരട്ടെ. നമ്മുടെ നാടിൻ്റെ ചരിത്രം തിരുത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് ആദ്യത്തെ തീരുമാനമാണ്, ചരിത്രം തിരുത്തിക്കൊണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി LDFൻ്റെ തുടർഭരണം വന്നു. തുടർഭരണം വന്നപ്പോൾ 2021 എവിടെയാണോ ഈ നിക്ഷേപ സൗഹൃദ സംസ്ഥാനം എന്ന കാര്യത്തിൽ എത്തി നിന്നത്, അവിടുന്ന് മുന്നോട്ട് പോകാനായി. ഇപ്പോൾ എന്തായി? ഇന്ത്യയിലെ നമ്പർ 1 സംസ്ഥാനം എന്ന നിലയിലേക്ക് കേരളം എത്തി. അതൊരു വർഷമല്ല, തൊട്ടടുത്ത വർഷവും കിട്ടി. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ കേരളത്തിൽ കൊച്ചിയിൽ
We will become India's #1 state very soon.
ആ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് മീറ്റിൽ 2 ലക്ഷം കോടി രൂപയുടെ നിക്ഷേപ സാധ്യതയാണ് തെളിഞ്ഞു വന്നത്. ഇവിടെ
investments of several crores
കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രതിനിധികൾ പോയപ്പോൾ
have been promised to Kerala.
സെക്രട്ടറിയൊക്കെ പങ്കെടുത്തിരുന്നു. അവിടെ
We are attracting
1 ലക്ഷം
investments.
കോടിയിൽ പരം രൂപയുടെ ഓഫറുകളാണ് വന്നത് നിക്ഷേപത്തിന്.
More than 1 lakh
സാധ്യതയുടെ ഒരു
crores
ധാരണ
offered.
കാര്യം നാം കാണേണ്ടത്
Even
ഒരു വളരെ പ്രത്യേകമായൊരു അനുഭവം എനിക്കുണ്ടായി. ഒരു ബിസിനസ് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് എന്നെ കാണാൻ വരിക. നമ്മുടെ വ്യവസായ മന്ത്രിയാണ് അവരെ എൻ്റെ അടുത്തേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അവർ പറയുന്നത് ഒരു പുതിയ നിക്ഷേപം നടത്തുന്നതിനെക്കുറിച്ചാണ്. നിക്ഷേപ സംഖ്യ കേട്ടപ്പോൾ പെട്ടെന്നൊരു ഞെട്ടലുണ്ടായി. അത് 3,60,000 കോടി രൂപ നിക്ഷേപിക്കലാണ്. ഞാൻ പെട്ടെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു അവരോട്, നിങ്ങളെന്താണ് കേരളം തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കാൻ കാരണം എന്ന്. അപ്പോൾ അവർ പറഞ്ഞൊരു മറുപടിയുണ്ട്. അത് കേരളം പോലെ ഇത്രയും ശാന്തമായൊരു സ്ഥലം വേറെയില്ല.
investors feel Kerala is a truly peaceful
കമ്മ്യൂണൽ
state.
പ്രശ്നങ്ങളില്ല. ഞങ്ങൾ അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇവിടെ വരുന്നത്. ഇത് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് വളരെ
That's the reason cited by many of the industries
ഇതൊക്കെ നാടിൻ്റെ
when they decided to give the offer.
ഇത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങൾ നേടാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്നുള്ളത് തന്നെയാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ പ്രത്യേകത. ഈ കഴിഞ്ഞ 10 വർഷക്കാലത്തെ അനുഭവം എടുത്താൽ ഞങ്ങളെ ഈ കേരളത്തിൽ ഒരു വർഗീയ കലാപവും ഇല്ല, ഒരു വർഗീയ സംഘർഷവും ഇല്ല. എല്ലാവർക്കും അവരവരുടെ നിങ്ങൾക്കിടാം, ഞാൻ ധരിക്കുന്ന ഡ്രസ്സ് എനിക്കിടാം, മറ്റൊരാൾക്ക് അയാൾ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്ന തരത്തിലുള്ള ഡ്രസ്സ് ഇടാം, ഏത് ഭക്ഷണമാണോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കഴിക്കേണ്ടത് ആ ഭക്ഷണം കഴിക്കാം. അതിനൊന്നും ഒരു തടസ്സവും ഇവിടെ എന്നാൽ നാം കാണേണ്ടത് വർഗീയ സംഘടന ഇല്ലാത്ത നാടാണോ കേരളം? അങ്ങനെ പറയാനും കഴിയില്ല. വർഗീയ സംഘടനകളുണ്ട്. ചില വർഗീയ സംഘടനകൾ രാജ്യത്തെ തന്നെ ഏറ്റവും കരുത്തുറ്റ അവരുടെ ശാഖ കേരളത്തിലാണെന്ന് അംഗീകരിക്കുന്നതാണ്. കേരളം എല്ലാ കാലത്തും വർഗീയ ഈ 10 വർഷം മുൻപുള്ള കേരളത്തെ എടുത്താൽ പല ഘട്ടങ്ങളിലായിട്ട് കേരളത്തിൽ വർഗീയ അസ്വസ്ഥ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്, വർഗീയ കലാപങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്, അനേകം ജീവൻ നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, അനേകം ആളുകൾക്ക് മാരകമായി പരിക്കേറ്റിട്ടുണ്ട്, അനേകം പേരുടെ സ്വത്തുവകകൾ നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിൽ നിന്നെല്ലാം മാറ്റം ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഈ പ്രത്യേകത. ഇതൊക്കെ അത് ജനങ്ങൾ പൊതുവിൽ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നതാണ് എന്നാണ് നാം കാണേണ്ടത്. 2021 ഇതിനേക്കാളും വലിയ പ്രചരണ കോലാഹലങ്ങളായിരുന്നു കേട്ടോ. അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് സമയം നീണ്ടുപോകുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ പറയാതിരിക്കുന്നതാണ്. അത് അന്ന് പല കാര്യങ്ങളും കണക്കൂട്ടി വെച്ചവരുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഇതിനേക്കാളെല്ലാം വലിയ കണക്കൂട്ടലുകൾ ആ കാലത്തുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ അതൊന്നുമല്ല ജനങ്ങൾ അംഗീകരിച്ച്. അന്തിമ വിധികർത്താക്കൾ ജനങ്ങളല്ലേ, അവർക്ക് വിധി പ്രഖ്യാപിക്കട്ടെ. ഞങ്ങൾക്കതിൽ യാതൊരു ആശങ്കയില്ല. കാരണം ഞങ്ങളെപ്പോഴും ജനങ്ങളോടൊപ്പമാണ്. ഞങ്ങളെ ജനങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം, ജനങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് നല്ല ധാരണയുണ്ട്. അതാണ് എനിക്കത്
interesting.
And people understand as well.
You spoke about industry-friendly policies. You've spoken about the transformation in the last 10 years in Kerala. It's rare that a comrade will be speaking of an industry-friendly image that we thought, but that's perhaps the transformation that has happened. There is another transformation that's happened. And then people say that Pinarayi Vijayan's personality is the biggest and most powerful personality in the party. It's bigger than the party itself. When you head into 2026, is it a declared, known fact that if the LDF comes back to power, it is Pinarayi Vijayan who's back in the Chief Minister's chair?
അങ്ങനെ കാണാൻ കഴിയില്ല. അത് എല്ലാം ഞങ്ങളെ ഒരു നിലപാടെടുത്താൽ ഈ സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ പാർട്ടിയാണ് പാർട്ടിയുടെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ തീരുമാനിക്കുക. പാർട്ടിയിൽ ആര് ഏത് സ്ഥാനം വഹിക്കണം എന്നൊക്കെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ പാർട്ടി തീരുമാനിക്കും. മുൻകൂറായി ഒരാളെയും ഒരു സ്ഥാനത്തും പറഞ്ഞു വെക്കാറില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് വരാൻ പോകുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ എന്ത് വേണമെന്നുള്ളത് അവസാന തീരുമാനമായിട്ടില്ല. എൻ്റെ ആലോചനകൾ നടക്കുന്ന ഘട്ടം മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. അതിൻ്റെ അവസാന തീരുമാനം പാർട്ടി എടുത്തു. പക്ഷേ സാധാരണ നില വെച്ചാൽ ഒരു ഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഈ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിന് ശേഷമുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങൾ ഇപ്പോഴേ പറയാറില്ല. തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിൽ ആരൊക്കെ മാത്രമേ പറയാറുള്ളൂ. ഭാഗമായി തീരുമാനങ്ങൾ വന്നാൽ തീരുമാനങ്ങൾ അനുസരിക്കാൻ എല്ലാവരും ബാധ്യസ്ഥരാണ്. അത് അനുസരിക്കുന്നതിൽ ഒരു ഘട്ടത്തിലും വീഴ്ചയില്ലാതെ പോയിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു തോന്നൽ.
I will listen to what the party has to say.
Chief Minister, sir, before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you about the BJP being upset about what they're calling the Kochi boycott. When the Prime Minister came to Kochi, ministers from the CPM, the cabinet chose to stay away. What do you make of the BJP's recent efforts to expand their presence in the southern states, states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and Kerala in particular, to try and grow their presence? What do you make of this? And how would you describe your individual and institutional relationship with the centre and the Modi government at the moment, sir?
കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ്റുമായിട്ടുള്ള ഞങ്ങളുടെ ബന്ധത്തിൻ്റെ കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞാൽ, ഞങ്ങളൊരു സംസ്ഥാനമാണ്. സംസ്ഥാനം എന്ന നിലക്ക് കേന്ദ്രവുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് പല കാര്യങ്ങളും കേന്ദ്രത്തിൻ്റെ മുന്നിൽ ആവശ്യപ്പെടണം. നല്ല ബന്ധം സ്ഥാപിച്ചു പോവുക എന്നുള്ളത് പ്രധാനമാണ്. ഇതിനൊക്കെ എല്ലാ ഘട്ടത്തിലും ശ്രമിച്ചവരാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ. കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ്റുമായിട്ട് ആവശ്യപ്പെടേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിനെ കണ്ട് ആവശ്യപ്പെടാറുണ്ട്. സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ വലിയ മോശമായ ബന്ധമാണ്.
We have asked for a lot of help from the center.
കേന്ദ്രം തയ്യാറായിട്ടുണ്ടോ? വളരെ മോശമായ തിക്തമായ അതിൽ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യം, ഞങ്ങൾ 2016 LDF സർക്കാർ അധികാരത്തിൽ വരുന്നത്. 2018 നൂറ്റാണ്ടിലെ മഹാപ്രളയം കേരളം നേരിട്ടു. കേരളത്തെ അങ്ങ് തകർത്തെറിയുകയും അതിഭയങ്കരമായ പ്രളയത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി വന്ന നാശനഷ്ടങ്ങൾ കേരളത്തെ സ്നേഹിക്കുന്നവരെല്ലാം നാടിങ്ങനെ തകർന്നു പോയല്ലോ. ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സഹായം വേണമായിരുന്നു. പ്രധാനമന്ത്രി വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഈ സന്ദർശനം നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങൾ ഉറപ്പായി പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചു സഹായം ലഭ്യമാകും. പക്ഷെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സഹായം ലഭിച്ചില്ല. ഈ രാജ്യത്ത് ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനത്തിന് ഇത്തരം ഒരു ദുരനുഭവം ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഇതുപോലൊരു പ്രളയഘട്ടം നേരിട്ട ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനത്തിന് കേന്ദ്ര സഹായം ലഭിക്കാത്ത അവസരം ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. മറ്റൊന്ന്, കേരളത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് അറിയാവുന്ന ഒരുപാട് രാജ്യങ്ങളുണ്ടല്ലോ. ആ രാജ്യങ്ങൾ ചിലതൊക്കെ കേരളത്തെ നെഞ്ചേറ്റിയവരാണ്. കാരണം കേരളീയർ വലിയ തോതിലാണ് അവിടെ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നത്. അവർ ചിലർ ഇന്ത്യ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിനെ അറിയിച്ചു, ഞങ്ങൾ കേരളത്തെ സഹായിക്കാൻ തയ്യാറാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഇന്ത്യ ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഒരു മറുപടി പറഞ്ഞു, ഞങ്ങൾ സഹായം സ്വീകരിക്കില്ല. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യം, ആ ഘട്ടത്തിൽ പ്രധാനമന്ത്രി നരേന്ദ്രമോദി ഗുജറാത്തിൽ മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിയായിരുന്നു. നരേന്ദ്രമോദി മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിയായിരിക്കുന്ന കാലത്ത് ഗുജറാത്ത് വലിയൊരു ദുരന്തം നേരിട്ടു. ആ ദുരന്തത്തിന് കേന്ദ്ര സഹായം ലഭിച്ചതിന് പുറമെ മറ്റ് രാജ്യങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നുള്ള സഹായം ലഭിച്ചു. ആ സഹായം സ്വീകരിക്കുകയും ഗുജറാത്തിനെ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ അഭിവൃദ്ധിപ്പെടുത്താൻ അദ്ദേഹം നേതൃത്വം കൊടുക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. കേരളത്തിനൊരു ദുരന്തം വന്നപ്പോൾ സഹായം ഇവിടെ സ്വീകരിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല എന്ന നിലപാട് സഹായം സ്വീകരിച്ച അന്നത്തെ മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി ഇപ്പോൾ പ്രധാനമന്ത്രിയായിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ എടുക്കുകയാണ്. ഇത് ഞങ്ങൾക്കുള്ളൊരു ദുരനുഭവമാണ്. ഇവിടെ എത്ര കടുത്ത രീതിയിലാണ് പോയത് എന്ന് കാണണം. അന്ന് മലയാളി സഹോദരങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങളോട് പറഞ്ഞു, നിങ്ങളെ മന്ത്രിമാരാരെങ്കിലും ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വന്നാൽ ഇവിടെ നിന്നൊക്കെ കുറച്ച് സഹായം നല്ലതുപോലെ ലഭിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ വിദേശത്തുള്ളവർ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വരാൻ തയ്യാറാവണം ആരെങ്കിലും. ഞങ്ങൾ തീരുമാനിച്ചു പോകാൻ വേണ്ടി. പക്ഷേ മന്ത്രിക്ക് പോകണമെങ്കിൽ കേന്ദ്രത്തിൻ്റെ അനുമതി വേണം. കേന്ദ്ര അനുമതി ചോദിച്ചു.
We got help from abroad when we faced a tragedy. But for us to go there to get that help from other countries, we needed approval from the center to travel.
ഈ കാര്യം മാത്രമല്ല, കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ നേരെ സ്വീകരിച്ച സമീപനം, നമുക്ക് അർഹതപ്പെട്ട നികുതി വിഹിതമുണ്ട്. അത് സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ ജനസംഖ്യാനുപാതികമായിട്ട് ലഭിക്കണം. അതിൽ വെട്ടിക്കുറവ് വരുത്തി. നമ്മുടെ സംസ്ഥാനത്തിന് വികസന പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ നടത്താൻ കയ്യിലുള്ള പണം മാത്രം പോരാലോ, കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ് നൽകുന്ന പണവും പോരാ, വായ്പ എടുക്കേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും. വായ്പ എടുക്കാൻ സംസ്ഥാനത്തിന് അവകാശമുള്ളതാണ്. പക്ഷേ കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ് തങ്ങളെ അനുമതിയോടെ മാത്രമേ വായ്പ എടുക്കാൻ പാടുള്ളൂ എന്ന നിലപാടെടുത്തു. അങ്ങനെ വന്നപ്പോൾ കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ് അനുമതി വേണം. ആ അനുമതി വലിയ തോതിൽ വെട്ടിക്കുറച്ചു, കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ അവസരമില്ലാതാക്കി. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി കേരളത്തിന് വലിയ പ്രയാസം സൃഷ്ടിച്ചു. ഒരു ഫെഡറൽ രാഷ്ട്രമാണല്ലോ നമ്മുടേത്. ഫെഡറൽ തത്വങ്ങൾക്കെതിരായ നിലപാടാണ് സ്വീകരിച്ചു പോയത്. അങ്ങനെ വന്നപ്പോൾ പലതരത്തിലുള്ള ഇടപെടലുകൾ നടത്തി, നിവേദനങ്ങൾ കൊടുത്തു. ഈ ഘട്ടത്തിലൊന്നും പ്രധാനമന്ത്രിയെയോ മറ്റു മന്ത്രിമാരെയോ കാണുന്നതിന് ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊരു പ്രയാസമില്ല. ഞങ്ങളവരെ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്, സംസാരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, നിവേദനം കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ മാറ്റമൊന്നുമില്ല. അങ്ങനെ വന്നപ്പോൾ പ്രക്ഷോഭത്തിലേക്ക് കടന്നു. ഒരു ഘട്ടത്തിൽ കേരളത്തിൽ മാത്രമല്ല ഡൽഹിയിൽ പോയി പ്രക്ഷോഭം. അതിൻ്റെ തുടർച്ചയായി സുപ്രീം കോടതിയിൽ ഞങ്ങളൊരു കേസും ഫയൽ ചെയ്തു. സുപ്രീം കോടതി അത് ഗൗരവമായാണ് എടുത്തത്. ഇതിനകത്ത് ഗൗരവമായി കേൾക്കേണ്ട വിഷയങ്ങളുണ്ട് എന്ന് കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് ഭരണഘടനാ ബെഞ്ചിനത് വിട്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ദുരനുഭവം ഉണ്ടായ ഒരു നാടാണ് കേരളം. ഒരു ഫെഡറൽ രാജ്യത്ത് നടക്കാൻ പാടില്ലാത്ത രീതിയിൽ ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനത്തിനോടുള്ള അവഗണന. ഇപ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ ആരോഗ്യരംഗം വെച്ചാൽ ഇന്ത്യയിലുള്ള എയിംസ് എന്ന സ്ഥാപനത്തിന് അർഹതയില്ലാത്തൊരു സംസ്ഥാനമാണ് കേരളം എന്ന് ആരെങ്കിലും പറയൂ? 2016 തൊട്ട് ഓരോ വർഷവും കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിനെ ഞങ്ങൾ സമീപിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. അതിൽ പല വർഷവും പ്രധാനമന്ത്രിയെ തന്നെ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. സംസാരം കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇപ്പം കിട്ടുമെന്നാണ് തോന്നുന്നത് കേട്ടോ. പക്ഷേ എയിംസ് ഉണ്ടായിട്ട് ഇതേവരെ ഇല്ല. ഇതാണ് കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ. അപ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ബന്ധം നല്ല ബന്ധം തന്നെ. പക്ഷേ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ കാര്യം
And we also believe maybe we will be getting help, but that's not the case. It never comes.
This we wrap up. Thangalada one prediction. In the election result, what do you think will be the election results? Yetra seat gittu.
And what's your message to Congress leaders who already seem to be celebrating, thinking they're already winning? What do you want to tell the likes of Satishan, Ramesh Chennithala, KC Venugopal?
They've all predicted over 100 seats for UDF. Thangalada prediction.
And the question is rather around who will be chief minister next is how they are looking at it on the back of what happened in the local body elections. They think this is evidence that anti-incumbency has built up and therefore it gives them confidence that they think that they're winning. As chief minister and incumbent, what's your message to your opposition, sir?
നമ്മുടെ കേരളത്തിൽ നിങ്ങൾ എല്ലാ ഭാഗത്തും ഒന്ന് സഞ്ചരിച്ചു നോക്കൂ. ഏതെങ്കിലും തരത്തിലുള്ള ഭരണവിരുദ്ധ വികാരമാണോ ഉള്ളത് എന്ന് പരിശോധിച്ച് നോക്കൂ. ഉറപ്പിച്ച് പറയാൻ കഴിയും അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഭരണവിരുദ്ധ വികാരമില്ല എന്നുള്ളത്. അതാണ് യഥാർത്ഥ വസ്തുത. കേരളത്തിലെ ഭരണവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട അഭിപ്രായങ്ങളൊക്കെ ആളുകൾക്കുണ്ടാവും. പക്ഷേ കടുത്ത ഭരണവിരുദ്ധ 10 വർഷം അധികാരത്തിലിരുന്നൊരു ഗവൺമെന്റിനെതിരെ ഉണ്ടാകേണ്ട ഭരണവിരുദ്ധ വികാരമാണ് കേരളത്തിലുള്ളത് എന്നൊരു ധാരണ വേണ്ടതില്ല. ഭരണവിരുദ്ധ വികാരമേ കേരളത്തിലില്ല. മാത്രമല്ല പല കാര്യങ്ങളും മുന്നോട്ട് പോകണമെങ്കിൽ ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് അതിൻ്റെതായ അഭിപ്രായമുണ്ട്. ഞാനതിലേക്ക് കടക്കുന്നില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അഭിപ്രായം അതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് അത് നല്ല യോജിപ്പോടുകൂടി പോകുന്നവർക്ക് മാത്രമേ കേരളത്തെ മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ കഴിയൂ എന്നുള്ള ഉറച്ച ധാരണയാണ് കേരളത്തിലുള്ളവർക്കുള്ളത്. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് തന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു തരത്തിലുള്ള പ്രയാസവും ഉണ്ടാകില്ല എന്ന് തന്നെയാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ കണക്കാക്കുന്നത്. പിന്നെ സീറ്റിന്റെ കാര്യം, എണ്ണത്തിന്റെ കാര്യം അതൊന്നും തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിലേക്ക് പോവുകയാണ്. എങ്കിലും നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ജയിച്ചു വരാൻ കഴിയുന്ന സാഹചര്യം തന്നെയായിരിക്കും. അത് 2016 കൂടുതലായിരുന്നു 2021. 2026 2021 കൂടുതൽ സീറ്റുകളായിരിക്കും LDF നേടുന്നത് എന്നത്.
We will win more seats in 2026 than 2021. When we won 2021, we won more seats as compared to 2026.
Extremely special and very rare. The two-term Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, taking questions. This is his first interview to any national media organization in the build-up to the hat-trick that he's attempting. Chief Minister, this means a lot to all of us at NDTV that you took out time from a very busy election campaign and joined us here in Thiruvananthapuram for the NDTV Power Play. On behalf of the entire NDTV team, our deepest thanks to you. We wish you all the best. The last communist chief minister standing and one of the important characters in modern Indian politics, Pinarayi Vijayan. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a standing ovation and a very warm round of applause for the Chief Minister of Kerala, Mr. Vijayan, who's joined us despite a very bad throat and taken so many questions. Thank you so much.
NDTV. Thank you, NDTV.
Good evening and welcome to Nationwide at 6 on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. I hope you enjoyed that interaction with the Chief Minister of Kerala, speaking for the first time before this very crucial election, a hat-trick that he is in fact seeking in Kerala, the last Chief Minister of the left parties in the country. Whether that holds or not, time will tell, but let's shift focus now to Nationwide at 6 and two important stories, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment. On the broadcast, we'll get you the latest on the continuous saga. The House of Barbs is what the opposition versus Speaker, the continuous fight has become. After winning the no confidence motion, after that fell against him, Om Birla made his appearance today, and that also escalated into a massive fight. A stormy session as far as Lok Sabha is concerned. We'll get you the latest on that. Then, of course, the crisis, as far as the war, perpetuated crisis is concerned, day 14 of the war between America, Israel and Iran, and the pinch is now being felt here in our country. Hotels, LPG, SOS, to the government. Meanwhile, induction stoves are completely going off the shelf. There are worries for the upcoming wedding season in the country as well because of the shortage of the LPGs, the commercial LPG cylinders. We'll get you ground reports on that as well. But let's begin with our top focus at this moment. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla made his return to the chair in Lok Sabha today. He came to the Parliament after the no confidence motion which was brought against him by the opposition was defeated yesterday. Birla's return to the Parliament after this heated 12-hour discussion on this motion of his impeachment, which subsequently, as I'm telling you, have been rejected. Speaking on the impeachment motion and the allegations of his alleged partiality towards the government raised by the opposition, Mr. Birla today in fact maintained that he conducted all proceedings of the Parliament in a fair manner. He said he has given adequate time to all MPs, including the leader of opposition, to express their views. Mr. Birla reiterated that the rules of the House remain the same for opposition and government leaders alike. Now, a message that Mr. Birla has also always been giving, but something that does not cut the ice with the opposition. The opposition once again, while Rahul Gandhi was speaking and Mr. Birla interjected, again raised the question about his impartiality. That became a big, in fact, war of words as well, once again in the Parliament. Let me first play out what Mr. Om Birla, when he returned to the chair, he took a higher moral ground of sorts and said that he will not oversee the proceedings till the time this impeachment motion is not settled. He's back on his chair, and this is how he began his day.
मैंने हमेशा ये प्रयास किया कि सदन की कार्रवाई निष्पक्षता, अनुशासन, संतुलन और नियमों के साथ संचालित हो। सदन में सभी को साथ लेकर सामंजस्य से व्यवस्था और कार्यकुशलता बनाए रखने के लिए मैंने मेरे दायित्व को निभाया। मेरा हमेशा ये प्रयास रहता है कि सदन की गरिमा, मर्यादा और प्रतिष्ठा में उत्तरोत्तर वृद्धि होती रहे।
Let me just refresh your memory, ladies and gentlemen, and let me just bring you up to speed till today. What perpetuated this entire problem between the Speaker and the opposition, though it has been brewing from his first term, as the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. On January 28th, this year itself, Rahul Gandhi claimed that he was not allowed to speak in the Parliament. He was citing former Army Chief General M.M. Narwane's unpublished memoir, which the Defence Minister got up and said that these can't be substantiated. The Speaker, in fact, sided with the Defence Minister and said that Rahul Gandhi is not allowed to quote from this unpublished memoir, which the opposition and Rahul Gandhi says has been published. On February 3rd, 7 Congress and 1 CPM MP were suspended over the ruckus in the Parliament. On February 4th, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Lok Sabha speech was cancelled, and Mr. Birla came out with a shocking, in fact, allegation that he was told that the Prime Minister's safety could be hampered, that opposition women MPs were planning to gheraw the Prime Minister. Speaker requested the Prime Minister not to come to the Lok Sabha. The Speaker cited security threat to the Prime Minister from his colleagues in the Parliament, MPs in the Parliament, women MPs in the Parliament, and security threat to the Prime Minister inside the Lok Sabha. On February 10th, opposition in fact proposed the no confidence motion against the Speaker. Om Birla then recused himself from the House proceedings. On March 10th and 11th, a 12-hour discussion took place on the motion to remove the Speaker. Opposition's motion was defeated among the ruckus and by voice vote. On March 12th, Mr. Birla returns to the House after the motion is defeated. Now, as Om Birla came back to the Lok Sabha after the motion to remove him was defeated, he had a fresh showdown with the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi. So, many would have thought that things would change after this. Either the opposition will mellow down or the Speaker would possibly try and change and see and take things in new light. Nothing of that sort happened, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Rahul Gandhi, who was raising the Epstein issue once again in the Parliament, in the Lok Sabha, was given time to speak on the LPG crisis. He said that he is speaking on a broader issue of how India, as per the leader of opposition, has surrendered. And he, in fact, spoke about the Epstein issue, which the Speaker objected to. There were heated scenes in the Parliament, and after a bit, both Rahul Gandhi and Om Birla left the House. So if you thought that we have already seen some unprecedented scenes in the Parliament, well, every day there is a new saga which is added to this chapter. Take a look.
This war is going to have far-reaching consequences. Restaurants are closing. There's widespread panic about LPG. We have a gentleman sitting here who is the oil minister. He himself has said that he is a friend of Mr. Epstein.
माननीय सदस्य, आपने जो नोटिस दिया है, उस नोटिस में बोलिए आप। आपने जो नोटिस दिया है, आप उस नोटिस में बोलिए। लेकिन ये तरीका ठीक नहीं है।
लीडर ऑपोजिशन को सर बोलने दीजिए, बात पूरी हो जाए।
लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन है,
पूरी बात हो जाए तो लीडर ऑपोजिशन
से बोलेंगे। नियम के विपरीत नहीं बोल सकते।
I rise to inform the House of steps taken in response to the disruption of the global energy supplies arising from the ongoing conflict in West Asia.
ये संसदीय परंपरा के अनुसार है क्या? आप नोटिस किस बात का देते हो और किसे भी सीधा है, ये उचित नहीं है। नो।
So is this how the acrimony will continue? Is this how the Parliament won't be able to function? Asutosh, senior journalist, political analyst, is joining me at this moment. So is Rajat Sethi, political analyst. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast. Rajat, let me begin by asking you, once again, it's almost seemed to be a redux, especially between the Speaker and the leader of opposition. Many leaders in the opposition, in fact, came out and said that, it seems that after the motion to remove the Speaker, after his impeachment motion was defeated, he has come back more vindictive. At least that's the charge that they are making. What do you have to say on the opposition's charge? And is this how will the Parliament function if the acrimony continues?
No, I think it is bound to continue because there is one political leader who is so arrogant, and he still feels that there is the Raj of princely states, and he is the Varis of some kind of a princely state where whatever he says, the way he wants to present himself in the parliament, he can carry on that way. He forgets that there are certain rules, and all the members of the parliament are bound by certain rules of business, and he just openly disregards that. I mean, we have seen so many instances when the current speaker did not even chair the sessions. There were other presiding officers coming in, and he was going on and on rants on things which were decided. He was not speaking. He has some weird fascination about certain issues which he brings about, no matter what the subject at hand is. If he wants to behave like a prince, there are other ways. He can buy a bungalow, convert it into his own palace or whatever, and carry on with blabbering over there the degree to which he wants to do that.
Okay.
Is he a responsible parliamentarian? He is trying to bring the issues of LPG, and the moment the minister speaks up and gets up, he just walks out. That was the time when he could have at least ensured that the issue at hand, which is concerning the major citizens of this country, remains the point of discussion.
Okay.
And he ensured that other than that, everything else is discussed. And when the minister is rising up to respond, he doesn't have the patience to actually hear him out. This is the
All right.
sheer
Let me bring in Ashutosh. Ashutosh, is the opposition being held hostage to what Rahul Gandhi wants to say? As Rajat is saying, it's his whims and fancies, which is in fact holding the proper proceedings or smooth proceedings of the House at this moment.
See, I'm sure if India has gotten rid of all the princes and princely states, but there are few who think that they are the feudal lords. Nobody has a right to question them. Nobody has a right to say anything which doesn't suit them. So it's a much bigger political crisis the country is going through. The two or the three biggest issue this parliament doesn't want to discuss. Epstein issue. Why the parliament should not discuss this? The whole global politics is shattered by this. People are resigning and going to jail. Investigation is happening, and it is much more hateful in the sinister issue. But we don't want to discuss this. The American deal, we don't want to discuss this. We want to discuss this what? Something here and there. We don't want to discuss in the Nirvana's book. Just imagine that the new feudal lord, that they think that they can't even trust their own army chief. And every time they hide behind the army. So I'm telling you, this is a much serious issue. I don't blame even the speaker even for a second. He is doing what he has been asked to do. It's as simple.
But Ashutosh, let me interject and ask you. Let me interject and ask you this question. Whatever you are saying, all these issues that you are painting, if the opposition or Mr. Rahul Gandhi wants a discussion on them, then put a notice regarding those issues. When something else is being discussed, why would you want to push these issues at that point of time, which will lead to confrontation?
Can I ask a simple question? The Treasury and the Home Minister has every right to discuss where Rahul Gandhi is. Was it related to the no confidence motion against the Speaker? Was it related to that? If it is, then I'm sorry. Nishikant Dubey can go on and on and on and on and can character assassinate Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, anybody and everybody he feels like. And an abusive word was spoken on the floor of the House. The person sitting on the chair did not even acknowledge that. He said, I'll look into this only, then I'll do something. How bizarre it can be. So if the speaker is not bipartisan, where the opposition should go? So my submission is that the present regime doesn't want an opposition at all. They want a very submissive, mild and muted opposition.
Rajat, there have been instances where for a similar or even milder transgression, the speaker has been quite harsh as far as the opposition is concerned, while not doing anything when it comes to the treasury benches. The question is, eventually it is the treasury benches who will have to ensure, and Arun Jaitley said that when they were in opposition, that treasury benches have to ensure that the parliament functions. There doesn't seem to be any effort towards that from the government or the speaker.
So pick any traditions that parliamentarians tend to engage with. Have you ever seen Mr. Rahul Gandhi engage in any of those traditions? He considers there is something fundamentally flawed with him. He thinks himself above the rest of the lot. if there is the session closure tea, evening tea, the concluding on the concluding day, with the speaker invites the prime minister as well as the leader of opposition, bunch of other leaders from various parties. Priyanka Gandhi went there. But have you ever seen Rahul Gandhi, at least in a sober tone, come out and make outreaches to the existing traditions which his forefathers have also been party to? My fundamental problem is that his sheer arrogance that he brings to the table, that he can stand up and discuss anything under the sun. Is it how the parliament is supposed to be conducted? Can you not bring an adjournment motion on Epstein and have a focused discussion on Epstein when such an important issue around LPG supply was being raised? You had to sully that issue. You had to walk out on the minister when the minister was trying to speak, and you failed at a chance to hold the minister accountable on the LPG supply issue. You want to do self-goals, by all means go and do that. But
Rajat, the fact also is that the treasury benches are also in their whatever critique that they have, are also seem to be obsessed with either Rahul Gandhi or the Gandhi family. You have made this so acrimonious, you have made this so personal that the man doesn't believe that he has to in fact play by the rules of the games which were already established.
See, this is the fundamental problem, Ankit. Now, if the Treasury bench is trying to divert the issue, what should you as a responsible leader of opposition should be doing? You have to ensure that the real issues of the people are highlighted. What did you do for 13 hours? You endlessly debated on the topic of removing the speaker. Is that a public's issue? You tell me, is that what the public is concerned about? You knew that this motion is going to fall because the government is in power right now and the speaker enjoys the majority of the house, and this motion is not going to see the light of the day. And you still carried on and wasted 13 hours when you could have discussed so many parallel issues which are concerning the citizens. The problem is that he thinks he lives in his own La La Land, and he believes whatever matters in his La La Land is what matters to the public.
Sutosh, is Rahul Gandhi also being, in his approach being held hostage? He's giving, like people have been saying, and Rajat Sethi, among them, that he gives, opportunity to the government. You could have held the minister responsible. You could have, in fact, done much more when it came to this whole speech or the impeachment motion, in fact, debate in the parliament against the speaker. It eventually boiled down to the personality which Rahul Gandhi is playing as far as the government speech is concerned.
Ankit, you have covered parliament a lot. I know this for sure. When did you see Mr. Prime Minister holding a press conference? Is it not a tradition in a democracy? Have you heard ever? Have you ever heard Prime Minister answering questions in the parliament except accusing others? I have heard at least 5-7 prime ministers. I know for sure. Whether it is VP Singh, Chandrasekhar, Narasimha Rao, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, H.D. Deve Gowda, I.K. Gujral and Manmohan Singh. I have never seen a prime minister not answering to the question. He thinks he's not answerable to the parliament. And this is the fundamental issue. There's no issue. Otherwise, tell me, if Epstein file is not an issue, in what capacity Mr. Hardeep Puri was engaging with a man you and I would not like to see him shake his hand with him. A pedophile, a known pedophile, convicted pedophile. And we are told that the parliament should not discuss this issue because LPG is more serious. Yes, LPG is a very serious issue. But tell me, how many times the notices are given to the speaker by opposition has been honored?
Okay.
Not once. Even we journalists had been denied access to the parliament. You and I had covered parliament enough to know this. But now that access is very limited.
Okay.
And these are the people at the guts to come out and say, we are Democrat. Come what may. Democrat, my foot. This is a purely authoritarian argument. First of all, they should learn what is the rule of the parliament. What are the rules of the parliament? What are the spirit of the parliament? What are the convictions of the parliament? The prime minister doesn't show his face in the house. Have you seen him the last 3-4 days in the parliament?
Okay.
No.
We will leave it there.
That the whole world is going through a serious economic turmoil. I was expecting the prime minister to address to the nation. I want to hear him out so that there is no panic. If there is a panic, is it not the failure of the government?
Okay, Asutosh, government, in fact, my next story is about the briefing that the government has just done as far as the LPG is concerned. So I'll try and play out, and hopefully the people would be able to listen to that, and it will calm some tempers as far as people are concerned. But gentlemen, thank you so much at this moment for joining me on the broadcast. This is an important issue, and as Asutosh and both Rajat were pointing out, opposition and the ruling treasury benches, while they quote precedences and how the parliament needs to function, it seems both are in somewhere in contradiction to those precedences and the rules which have been set. And the problem is, two wrongs don't make a right. At least that is something where the opposition and the treasury benches will have to find a common ground. Otherwise, we'll keep seeing these scenes as far as the parliament of this country goes. Business, important legislative business, important legislative time being absolutely wasted and washed away. All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, as we were talking about the situation induced by the war, 14th day of this war, and how it is impacting the markets and pinching the people. Now, the government of India once again has come out and assured people on the LPG supply. The centre has said, we urge consumers to avoid panic. Centre also said there is no shortage of fuel in the country. LPG production has been increased by 28% as far as the government. No LPG supplier has run dry, and bookings are increasing due to panic. People are trying to hoard cylinders. That is what the government says. Some commercial cylinders will be released as well. Remember, this is happening at a time when you are seeing long queues as far as some places are concerned, and also restaurants, only many of them, in fact, on the verge of being shut down. I want to first play out the government's briefing, which took place just a short while back, on what their situation is as far as the LPG supply is concerned.
On 9th of March, we have Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has issued order under Essential Commodities Act, which has directed all the refineries to maximize the production of LPG, and as a result of that, the production has increased. Yesterday I told you 25%, now it is 28% of our domestic production. The government is making all efforts to ensure that the supply to the domestic consumers is ensured. We have almost 25,000 distributors throughout the country, and we deliver almost 50 lakh cylinders on daily basis. On the distribution side also, no dry out has been reported, but there is a manifold increase in the booking because of the panic. We urge the citizens to avoid panic booking.
Let me go across to Himanshu Shekhar Mishra, my colleague, who's joining me with more details on this. Himanshu, once again, more or less the same tone that the government, or the same answers that the government gave last time, saying and assuring that there is no shortage as far as LPG for domestic consumers are concerned. But there is also, a problem as far as the commercially available LPG is concerned for restaurants and for other businesses. Has there been any relief on that front as well?
That's right. In fact, there is an important update as far as the supply of 19 kg commercial LPG cylinder is concerned, which has been very badly affected. We know there have been complaints from several cities across the country. So today, for the first time during this crisis, Government of India has decided that in consultation and support with the state governments, 19 kg commercial LPG cylinders will also now be released in a staggered manner. As of now, it has been decided that around 20% of the stock that is there with the oil marketing companies will be released to commercial users of the LPG, and this will be on a priority basis. Now, this has not yet been defined that as to if 19 kg commercial LPG supply is going to start, then which are the priority sectors which will be given priority. But government has said that oil marketing companies have been told to get in touch with state governments and ensure that the process of supply of 19 kg commercial LPG cylinder is also started. Now, this comes at a time when government appears to be confident that all the needs of the domestic LPG consumers are being met met with. We have been repeatedly told today that the booking period has been increased from 21 to 25 days, and there is no shortage, no complaint from any part of the country. And repeatedly, government is appealing also to the citizens, the consumers of LPG, not to get into panic booking. So I think it was a little more confident government officials who did the briefing today, but the challenge on the ground remains, because large part of the supply of LPG from Strait of Hormuz remains affected.
Right.
That's right.
Thank you, Himanshu, for joining us with all those details. Like Himanshu was speaking about the challenge on the ground, I'll bring you ground reports for that. But before, in fact, we go into those ground reports, the ongoing shortage of the LPG in India, triggered by the geopolitical tensions, were the center of a heated debate in the parliament as well. Leading the charge was the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, and countering the claim was from the government side was Energy Minister Hardeep Puri. Listen in.
This war is going to have far-reaching consequences. The central artery from where 20% of the global oil flows, Strait of Hormuz, has been closed, and this is going to have tremendous repercussions, particularly for us, because a very large portion of our oil and natural gas comes through the Strait of Hormuz. The pain has just started. Restaurants are closing. There's widespread panic about LPG. Street vendors are affected. And as I said, this is only the beginning.
For the first time in recorded history, the Strait of Hormuz has been effectively closed to commercial shipping. Despite India having no role in causing the conflict, like many countries, India has to navigate through its consequences. India's crude supply position is secure and volumes secured exceed. There is no shortage of petrol, diesel, kerosene, ATF or fuel oil. The availability of petrol, diesel, aviation, turbine fuel, kerosene and fuel oil is fully assured.
Meanwhile, the fallout of the ongoing US-Israel-Iran conflict is now being felt in India, with the pinch being felt in our kitchens, in fact, with concerns rising over the possible LPG shortages linked to the tensions around the Strait of Hormuz. We get you a ground report from across the country of how people are navigating through this crisis.
We are on critical reserve situation right now. We only have 2 or 3 days of stock left in terms of gas.
Imagine a hot sizzling pan that's frying your food, butter chicken cooked in a kadhai. How else do you imagine Indian food being prepared if not by liquefied petroleum gas? I'm currently standing in one of the kitchens of the famous diners across Delhi NCR called Chotu, wherein, as you can see around me, food is also being prepared. Gas is being used at the moment, but at what cost? We do understand that the West Asia war and conflict escalating is affecting fuel across the country, and it has finally hit home. The conflict has hit home, and it is hitting LPG supplies across board in restaurants as well.
I think the situation is changing every few hours. Last 1 week, we were facing issues finding gas cylinders in Noida and Gurgaon outlets. But since yesterday, even Delhi outlets have not received supply. So we are on critical reserve situation right now. We only have 2 or 3 days of stock left in terms of gas.
India is heavily depending upon, LPG gas. I think 90% of the restaurant chain are depending upon, LPG. If, the crisis continues, I see about 60 to 65% impact on, the overall kitchen and restaurant sales. So yes, it is going to impact badly.
the shortage of LPG cylinders has hit the hotel industry and the commercial industry really hard. And here at a restaurant in Bengaluru, a unique protest is being held. You can see empty cylinders being placed outside the hotel with many placards to save the hotel industry, which is running under some serious problems. The livelihood of the owners, of people who are working here, all depends on LPG cylinders being made available commercially. And we are looking at these hotels right now operating on a very minimal basis.
हमें अभी ये 3 दिन से ये प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है सो अभी हमारा LPG सिलेंडर जो भी नहीं वो नहीं मिल रहा है और हमें आज से ये मैसेज है डीलर से कि हमें कल से आपको सिलेंडर ही नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि सभी प्लांट सभी क्लोज हुआ है। सो हमें अभी ये चिंता हो रही है कि हमें होटल अभी क्या करना है, कल से नहीं सिलेंडर मिला तो हमें बंद करना पड़ेगा।
At present, we are here at Sandhurst Road, here at the Sadhguru Hotel, where we see that a notice has been displayed in which it is written that due to gas crisis, all items and preparations will be curtailed, and because of which the customers who come in have no choice but to follow the options and the availability of food which is here with these staff. And henceforth, the problem is across Mumbai, across the city, where people who usually are dependent on their meals outside on these hotels are deeply impacted. They wait for a solution, and at the same time the Association for Hotels and Restaurants too have held a meeting with the Minister of Food and Civil Supplies, seeking immediate intervention to ensure that their livelihoods stay on track. At this point, it is the Maharashtra government who has ensured that households will be getting the LPG cylinders, but it is the commercial units which will have to be facing crisis for now, and henceforth they are forced to suspend their operations at all.
A lot of people are buying induction stoves. It's flying off the shelves in the markets because of this crisis. All right, with that, we are slipping into a very short break. I'm coming back with much more on the other side. Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Si tu le vuoi la mia cittadina quando si fa l'amore sotto luna come te va a la view mette bene in capire la papà l'americano
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने आईएनएस विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोज में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है, और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
Si tu le vuoi la mia cittadina quando si fa l'amore sotto luna come te va a la view mette bene in capire la papà l'americano
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
Si tu le vuoi la mia cittadina quando si fa l'amore sotto luna come te va a la view mette bene in capire la papà l'americano
हूँ आपका अपना दिल्ली वाला Yo Honey Singer. I'm bringing the music, memories, madness back to my city, जहाँ मैं पैदा हुआ और अपनी जवानी बिताई. This is my story, retold song by song, creating night Delhi will never forget. My story with NDTV Good Time, live in Delhi. One night, no repeats. Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV Network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
First India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets.
West Asia at war. Netanyahu thanks Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, spoke to him at length yesterday, thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth.
Israel opposition leader Yair Lapid speaks to NDTV.
Is there gonna be an Iranian Gandhi who will free his own people from oppression? So it's up to them.
Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on NDTV.
Israel and US going to leave Iran in a complete chaos? Do you think that there will be a civilian leader who could take over?
Not Israel and not the US will decide who will lead the Iranian people.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
In a month that moved markets, shifted diplomacy,
The entire world.
and stirred political battlegrounds, India chose its news carefully. NDTV India and NDTV 24/7. #1 on YouTube. NDTV Network, streaming India's trust. Leading India's conversations.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Welcome back. A Liberia flagship became the first vessel to cross the Strait of Hormuz and it has docked in Mumbai. The Shenlong Suezmax ship carrying about 135,000 metric tons of crude oil from Saudi Arabia docked at the Mumbai port after crossing the Strait of Hormuz. Following the bottlenecks across the Strait of Hormuz, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar held talks with his Iranian counterpart regarding the shipping securities and India's energy security need.
ईरान और अमेरिका लगातार युद्ध में है। लगातार दोनों के बीच भीषण युद्ध चल रहा है और इजराइल ने भी इस पूरे युद्ध में हिस्सा लिया हुआ है। ऐसे में पूरी दुनिया में कच्चे तेल की कमी जो है देखने मिल रही है। सबसे ज्यादा दिक्कतों का सामना हमारा देश भारत देश कर रहा है। ऐसे में भारत के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी राहत की बात सामने आई है। कच्चे तेल को लेकर पहला जहाज जो है वो मुंबई पोर्ट पर पहुंचा है। शेलोंग सुजमैक्स इसका नाम है और ये मुंबई के पास जो है इसको पार्क किया गया है। सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि सूत्रों के अनुसार ये बात भी सामने आई है कि स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मोज को पार करते हुए भारत ये शेलोंग जो जहाज है ऑयल टैंकर है वो यहाँ पर पहुंचा है। तकरीबन जहाज में 1,35,000 मेट्रिक टन से ज्यादा कच्चा तेल है जिससे मुंबई के माहौल स्थित रिफाइनरी में भेजा जाएगा। अगर आप तस्वीरों में देखें तो ये तस्वीरों में यही वो जहाज है, शेनलॉन्ग इसका नाम है और ये कई किलोमीटर का जो रास्ता है, कई नॉटिकल माइल्स का रास्ता है वो पार करते हुए मुंबई पहुंचा है। ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण इलाका है मुंबई के समुद्र का और उसको यहाँ पर पार्क किया गया है। खास बात यह है कि भारत के आधे से ज्यादा कच्चे तेल की सप्लाई इसी रास्ते से आती है। ऐसे में इस जहाज का सुरक्षित मुंबई पहुंचना देश के लिए बड़ी राहत माना जा रहा है।
And behind this ship docking in India, the first one since the war began, there is a very, very interesting story. And let me tell you how this ship was able to navigate those challenging waters in the last few days. On March 1st, Shenlong Suezmax, this ship, after being loaded from Saudi Arabia, it in fact started its journey towards India. On March 3rd, in fact, that journey began and on March 8th, the vessel was seen inside the Strait of Hormuz. It was just around the Strait of Hormuz when the war was beginning. The ship then goes off the maritime tracking system to avoid any kind of detection or danger as far as the Strait of Hormuz is concerned. Going dark, practically going dark to avoid being tracked by hostile forces. On March 9th, this ship in fact then reappeared on the maritime tracking systems and was able to make its way safely to the docks of Mumbai on March 12th, loaded with the very important supply of crude oil. This is the ship and this is how it has made the whole challenging journey, avoiding detection, avoiding hostilities at the Strait of Hormuz. These are very, very challenging times and people are, especially at this moment, are resorting to some very unusual measures to ensure their safety. With that, we are slipping into a very short break, coming back with much more on the other side. Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolla mia italiano, quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come te va a la più. Mette bene in capi di I love you. Papà l'americano.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
Sì, tu le bolla mia italiano, quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come te va a la più. Mette bene in caffè, I love you.
Papà l'americano.
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने आईएनएस विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोज में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करती हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
Devo bene, sì, tu le vuoi la mia tutoriano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sai la bio. Mette bene in caffè, I love you.
Papà l'americano.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
Devo bene, sì, tu le vuoi la mia tutoriano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sai la bio. Mette bene in caffè, I love you.
Papà l'americano.
Yo, मैं हूँ आपका अपना दिल्ली वाला yo हानी सिंगर। I'm bringing the music, memories, madness back to my city, जहाँ मैं पैदा हुआ और अपनी जवानी बिताई। This is my story, retold song by song, creating night Delhi will never forget. My story with NDTV Good Time, live in Delhi. One night, no repeats. Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff.
It's been nearly 2 weeks after Donald Trump ordered military strikes intended to destabilize the leadership in Iran. The war began, and so far, it's proving to be far more complicated than White House could have expected. I want now to take you to some of the defining images, the big visuals coming in on day 13 of this war. United States owned and Marshall Island flagged oil tanker, the Safiya Vishnu, was attacked off core at Zubair port inside Iraq's territorial waters by an Iranian suicide boat. The visuals on your screen show the loud explosion followed by a massive blast. In another escalation, Iranian drones hit a Dubai Creek Harbour skyscraper. Visuals on your screen show the extent of the damage caused to the building structure. Authorities brought a minor fire under control with no injuries being reported so far. Zahia, prominently Shia Muslim suburb in south of Beirut, was hit by Israeli airstrikes. The visuals on your screen show the extent of damage caused by the attacks within the area, turning in complete trouble. Israeli Defense Forces have released a fresh video of attack in Beirut, turning, according to them, the IRGC Air Force headquarters into rubble within seconds. Meanwhile, Hezbollah fired approximately 100 rockets from the Lebanese territory towards northern Israel in the largest single barrage since the hostilities began this month, triggering air raid sirens across Haifa. Israel's response was simultaneous, intercepting the incoming rockets. All right, that's all the time that we have in this edition of the broadcast. I'll be back with Nationwide at 6 tomorrow, same place, same time.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle mie italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te bazzata sai la bio. Mette bene in cappi hai la bio.
Papà l'americano.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle mie italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te bazzata sai la bio. Mette bene in cappi hai la bio.
Papà l'americano.
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने आईएनएस विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle mie italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te bazzata sai la bio. Mette bene in cappi hai la bio.
Papà l'americano.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेट लाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle mie italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te bazzata sai la bio. Mette bene in cappi hai la bio.
Papà l'americano.
Yo, मैं हूँ आपका अपना दिल्ली वाला yo हानी सिंगर। I'm bringing the music, memories, madness back to my city, जहाँ मैं पैदा हुआ और अपनी जवानी बिताई। This is my story, retold song by song, creating night Delhi will never forget. My story with NDTV Good Times, live in Delhi. One night, no repeats.
Across the country,
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
West Asia at war. Netanyahu thanks Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth.
Israel opposition leader Yair Lapid speaks to NDTV.
Is there gonna be an Iranian Gandhi who will free his own people from oppression? So it's up to them.
Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on NDTV.
Israel and US going to leave Iran in a complete chaos? Do you think that there will be a civilian leader who could take over?
Not Israel and not the US will decide who will lead the Iranian people.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
It's been an interesting ride to this point, Dr. Tharoor. You know, many things have been said about what Shashi Tharoor represents as far as the Kerala election is concerned. Can you define that for us? Everything has been said, from Shashi Tharoor wants to be chief minister, to him being, a loyal soldier of the party, to him being a dissident, to him having one foot out the door. All of these things have been said. What is Shashi Tharoor in this Kerala election?
I'm first of all co-chair of the campaign committee, which means I will have to campaign all throughout the state. I'm not a candidate in any constituency, so that gives me the freedom to campaign for everyone. So that really, I believe, should help in terms of my contributions. I've done this before. Each of the last 3 elections since I've been an MP, I've been a campaigner. And last time around, I'm proud to say I managed to hit 56 constituencies and speak for candidates, probably more than 60 candidates, because some halts, there were 3 or 4 candidates I spoke for simultaneously. But having said all of that, the other thing that I hope I represent in Kerala is Kerala's historic connection to the global world.
Dr. Tharoor, the UDF has been in the opposition for 10 years.
Yeah.
And 10 years is a long time. You've won local body polls, you've won 2 Lok Sabha elections, but it still looks like a contest. Otherwise, it would have just remained, it would have been a battle for the UDF to win, but it still looks like a contest to us. Why is that happening?
Tighter than it should have been.
Yeah.
Well, the polls are suggesting it's tight, or some polls are. But, don't forget that the LDF government has a very sophisticated and well-financed PR machinery. I think that the argument would only be valid if our only message was anti-incumbency. It's not. As I've been just saying, what we have is a positive message, a vision of the future. One of the things I've been saying in all my campaign speeches so far, even though the campaign has barely got off the ground, has been that we represent a new vision for Kerala, a new hope for the future, and we are here to fight for a better Kerala. That message, to my mind, is going to appeal over and above the anti-incumbency factor. So as the campaign gets underway, we still don't know what the dates are. The Election Commission hasn't announced them. Assuming we have the whole of April to campaign, which is what I assume, we will inspire voters to say we want a positive change. It's the positive message that we want to give.
What about the speaker before you, Dr. Tharoor, had obviously expectedly talked a lot about the factionalism in the UDF and the Congress. Can you talk about that? Because that hasn't been a figment of someone's imagination. There are a lot of shouting voices, and the argument that this is a democratic, setup and everyone has voices and ambitions only goes so far to explain that.
Now listen, one man's factionalism is another man's vibrant democracy. The one big difference between us and the left is that we are a party where a wide range of views is tolerated. I am myself supposed to be guilty of having challenged authority in the party. But when it comes, for example, to election unity, when it comes to parliamentary performance, when it comes to following the party whip, all of these, we are all 100% disciplined. But until that crunch moment, we have the right to express our views freely and frankly. And I think that is actually a sign of a vibrant democratic impulse in the party. This, I think, is all the more necessary in a current in which heresies and dissent and so on are disapproved of everywhere, in every party, not just ours. I think having a party which has room for different kinds of expressions is valuable. But having said that, Rahul Gandhi was right when he said in Thiruvananthapuram in my presence, he said, all of you dance well, but dance together. And I thought that was a great metaphor. Kerala has lots of dances, individual dances, group dances, the works. But when we dance together, we will really shake the stage.
But are you dancing together?
So far, yes, and I think it'll tighten up even further as we get closer.
Dr. Tharoor, recently we interviewed Ramesh Shenitala and also V.D. Satishan, and there was one answer that was similar in both their interviews. They said Dr. Tharoor is a valuable asset and he's going to be campaigning in every constituency. Both of them said the same thing. So, and also you were part of the Pudu Yuga Yatra as well. Help us understand what is the relationship that you have with all of these people? Do you get along well with all of these people? And also, what really changed? Did that meeting with Mr. Kharge and Rahul Gandhi sort of make those changes in your own view of the Congress party?
That was about national issues. It was principally about the unfortunate sort of gap that emerged between us over Operation Sindoor and the aftermath. And the air needed to be cleared. It was cleared. We're on the same page. We're moving on. But as far as Kerala is concerned, that was not so much. As far as Kerala is concerned, you see, I've been in a slightly odd position in the sense that I did come in without, unlike all my peers, without having risen through the Kerala Students' Union, through the Youth Congress, through the lower levels into Parliament. I came in having had a very different career. My student politics was in Delhi at St. Stephen's College. My further education was abroad. My career was in the UN. I come in at 51 and suddenly these folks are confronted with a new figure. There was obviously some mutual adjustment difficulties, me to their style, perhaps they to my presence. I mean, so some tensions were there which were widely reported. I don't need to talk about that. I think over the course of 4 elections that I have won on the Congress banner, I hope I have earned their respect. But what is perhaps equally important is that I found a place in the hearts of a large chunk of the Kerala electorate. I won 4 difficult elections, 2 by record majorities. I have won support and goodwill right across the state from particularly, I will admit, the urban, educated, middle and professional classes who are my natural constituency everywhere in the country. Wherever I go in India, people come up to me who are not from Kerala, who seem to admire what I stand for, what I speak about, and the way in which I communicate my vision and my ideas. People want a certain clarity of vision, and they accept the fact that I have extensive experience beyond Kerala, which may not be true of as many of my colleagues. I have extensive experience beyond politics, which is also not so true of most of my colleagues, and therefore people listen to me. And if the Congress party wants to translate that into political support, that should be good. Young people, for example, value those qualities a lot. And so I have a decent following amongst the young everywhere in the country and in the state. And I'm very pleased to say that wherever I go, I get an enthusiastic reception. Why shouldn't the party want to use that for the party's benefit? I'm very happy to support. In turn, all I seek is some influence over the substantive directions of the party. Last time, 5 years ago, I chaired the manifesto committee. So I said, been there, done that, when they offered me that again. But my ideas for the manifesto have been conveyed, and I'm quite sure that many of them will be embraced. Now they made me a co-chair of the campaign committee, and that means that I will have to take my message everywhere. I'll certainly go to all 14 districts. Whether the election commission will give us time for me to go to 140 constituencies, I don't know. But certainly I will do more than 56 I was able to touch last time in a 3-week campaign. 3 weeks is 21 days. There are distances to be covered by road. So 56 in 21 days was actually pretty good going. But let's see, if we get more time than that, we'll do more campaigns.
But do you feel like you're being utilized enough by the party, Dr. Tharoor?
Look,
because your admirers, those who, and I'm not just talking about your fans, but people who are genuinely the constituents that you just described, the impulsive view is we just don't see enough of Dr. Tharoor on the big issues, on the issues where he would be on the front foot and can add a great deal of value for the Congress party and the opposition at large.
I think the party has to be given the right to determine who they want to speak or put forward on any particular issue, and I respect the party's right to do that. Remember, I have other forums available to me. I write very extensively around the country. I have columns in a couple of major newspapers. I have online columns as well, including one for NDTV. Yes. And of course, all of you catch me for the media whenever you can, which I admit is not as often as I would like, because I myself have to turn down 9 out of 10 invitations because of other commitments. But by working 18 hours a day, by being out there, by getting my message across, I don't feel limited to the political platform alone. I'm glad that in a certain sense, I seem to have a platform in my own right. When the party wants to use it, they are most welcome. When they don't need to use it, I'm very happy to use other platforms, and that's all I've been saying. It's not a negative comment on the party, far from it. It is merely saying that I am not feeling frustrated because I have other options.
Dr. Tharoor, you spoke about the UDF, you spoke about the LDF. I want to also ask you about the BJP in Kerala. You see the BJP, you see the centre gave Padma honours to V.S. Achyutanandan and also Nathesan Velapalli. You see the Prime Minister going there quite often. There is political outreach, there is cultural symbolism. They have a mayor now, they have an MP now. So it looks like the BJP is a force that is here to stay in Kerala. Do you agree with that?
Look, I think they have long-term ambitions in Kerala. I don't think they have any short-term ambitions. I know the Home Minister came and said NDA will rule next time. I don't even think he believes it. To be honest, the BJP has a fundamental issue, which is its inability to outgrow the perception of communal bigotry, which sits very ill with Kerala. Their political agenda reflects a very North Indian sensibility. And this is something they're coming to terms with as they try and make inroads into Tamil Nadu and Kerala. They're finding out that the ethos of our places, the cultural ethos, the civilization, we're very anchored in our civilization. But our civilization is one of pluralism, social harmony, coexistence, and so on, in ways that some of the BJP elements find it difficult to wrap their mind around. Even our biggest festival, Onam, celebrates the Asura king Mahabali, under whose rule people were equal, everyone was prosperous, and there was justice and fairness for land. The Devas got jealous and they sent Vishnu down as Vamana in order to trick Mahabali, who was a generous king, said, I need 3 steps worth of land. And Mahabali said, what are you going to do 3 steps? You're a dwarf. And Vamana says, no, 3 steps is all I need. And when he says, all right, I grant you your wish, and he always keeps his word, Vishnu, of course, grows enormous. With 1 step he covers the earth, with the 2nd step he covers the heavens, and then he turns to Mahabali and says, where should I put my 3rd step? And Mahabali, realizing who he's in the presence of, bows his head and says, you can put it on my head. And Vamana, Vishnu says, before I send you down to the nether regions, you have 1 wish. And what is his wish? He wants to come back once a year to see that his people are thriving and prosperous. So Onam is a celebration when Mahabali comes back once a year, and all communities, Hindus, Christians, Muslims, put on their finest clothes, have feasts and sadhyas, exchange gifts, wear new clothes, all of this stuff to show Mahabali that they're doing all right, his people are fine. This extraordinary thing, which is for us Christmas, Diwali and Holi combined, it's a huge event. That Onam What did our dear BJP do when they were first taking interest in Kerala? They tweeted Happy Vamana Puja. And I had to point out, this is one of the most embarrassing faux pas you can imagine. They have not even understood the spirit of what Kerala is all about. They have to overcome that North Indian sensibility, come down to the heart and soul of the people, and they have to drop this communal agenda. We have lived together for too long to mistrust each other because of their birth. We do not stigmatize people because of their religion, their names, their caste, whatever. That's done. We've been through a major set of renaissances from the middle of the 19th century to the middle of the 20th century. And during this time, the transformation in the mindset of Kerala has made Kerala one of the most progressive states in the entire union. Not just one of, I would say the most. And therefore, for the BJP to find a foothold, they should talk much more, if you don't mind me saying so, my language. They should be talking about integrating Kerala to the global economy. They should talk about bringing in new technologies. They should talk about development. They should talk about how they can transform Kerala. Then they might have a future. But as long as they are mired in the bag, you know what's happening right now? They try and come and reach out to the Christians of Kerala. And then promptly in Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh, some nuns and priests are bashed up because they're Christian or they're preaching there. And what happens? These are all usually Malayali Christian nuns and priests and so on. And they're writing home to their families saying, look what these horrible BJP people are doing to us. And there goes Pat, the BJP's Christian outreach. So the BJP has to decide what kind of party are we before we can reach out in Kerala. If they are willing to be a non-communal party, they're willing to stand up for Christian rights in the country everywhere, Muslim rights in the country everywhere, and say we are only a party of development, which was Narendra Modi's original message in 2014. If they can do that, they have a future. Otherwise, they have no future in Kerala.
A question that you've been asked, virtually the entire year, Dr. Tharoor, is about whether you have an especially cozy relationship with the BJP leadership and specifically with Narendra Modi. Not without reason, there have been some, in a sort of hyper-polarized political environment, even normal graces are seen as, over-friendly gestures which would be considered blasphemous, considering the divisions between the parties and the acrimony that exists. What is it right now? What is your relationship with Prime Minister Modi and the BJP?
Civil is the word I would use, even though there are 11 cases filed against me by BJP governments and BJP individuals on various completely frivolous and pointless grounds. And the fact is that if they were trying to be exceptionally friendly to me, they would not have done that to me. On top of that, I would agree with you that our environment politically has become so unnecessarily polarized, so unpleasantly divisive, that even the most civil things like wishing somebody on a birthday becomes interpreted as some sort of political gesture. I can tell you that that is not how Indian politics used to be. Certainly, when we were ruling, I only caught the tail end of it because, my ministerships were very brief and only in the last term of the UPA. But even at that time, it was entirely common for Congress ministers to invite BJP MPs home for dinner, to have breakfast or lunch with them, to discuss issues. Dr. Manmohan Singh, when we had a controversial bill to get through, would invite the leader of the opposition and other leaders of the BJP to his home for breakfast and say, let's talk this through. There was always a sense that ultimately governance is a bipartisan political enterprise. Then what is politics, Shiv? I ask you both. Politics is about creating a better India. Otherwise, you shouldn't be in politics. If you have no vision of how to make a better country, better state, better anything, why are you in politics? Just for power? Power to do what? Not just to advance your own personal interests or that of your caste or clan or community. It has to be about a better society, a better country. And in that enterprise, you can have difference of opinion on how to get there. And we do. We have difference of opinion with the BJP. They have difference of opinion with the left. We have difference of opinion with the left. But at the end of the day, if we can at least trust the basic good faith of all parties that everyone wants a better India, and that only differences are on how to get there, then we can talk to each other with that much mutual respect. And if we can persuade them that on a particular issue they should work with us, that'll be good for democracy, good for the country. So I approach the other parties in that spirit. I might say I've seen Pranab Mukherjee do exactly the same thing. There are other Congress leaders in earlier times who had very good relations with the opposition. It's tougher when the opposition is the government because then your own side tends to mistrust that if you are being friendly to them because you're sucking up to the government for some benefits. I have had no benefits from the government, let me tell you very frankly. I was not the only opposition MP who led a delegation on Operation Sindoor. There's not one other thing anyone can point to that the government has given me that I have not earned the hard way by winning an election and getting there, or by being nominated by my own party to get it, or by doing things on my own right in my own steam, whether it's my speeches, my writings, my conferencing and so on. All that's my own initiative. It's contemptible of some people to suggest that my running around the world is at the invitation of the government. It's neither the request of, nor financed by, nor organized by the government. I get more international invitations than I'm able to accept, because fortunately I have a personal identity that has nothing to do with the government of India. So I don't need to suck up to the government. I speak as I believe. And sometimes that makes one set of people unhappy, sometimes it makes the other set of people unhappy. That's life.
A crucial Kerala election is just ahead of us. This is a political landscape that has always been seen as bipolar between two large coalitions. The left front has just completed 2 consecutive terms, which is political history in itself. The BJP, a third force in this political evolution, can never be faulted for not attempting to make a footprint larger in God's own country. And joining us today at Power Play Keralam is Rajeev Chandrasekhar of the BJP. He has just finished a year as state president of the BJP in Kerala. So I'd like to start, first of all, by welcoming you. You've got a lot of work on your hands. It's a big election coming up. You've had some good news behind you in the recent weeks and months, Rajeev. So first off, your first year as the president of the state unit of the BJP. How has that been? What have the highlights been?
So thank you for having me, Shiv. I think there's another 18 odd days for me to complete the first year. It was March 25th to 2025 when I was given this responsibility. Certainly it wasn't something that I asked for. It was a task assigned to me by my leadership, and I took it on as a challenge. And I think we've made some significant strides in trying to alter the conventional political landscape of Kerala and the discourse and the narrative that had been thrust on the people by the UDF and the LDF for many decades. The state did not have even a reasonable political discourse around development, around what the future really requires to be discussed during a political movement or a political election. And I think we have effectively, in the last 10 months, settled this issue once and for all, that politics in Kerala will be about manufactured controversies, about fake promises, about this manufactured narrative of secularism, this so-called Keralam model that the left has tom-tom for years and decades. We've shattered all that, and we've essentially made this a level playing field where every party, every coalition has to put forth in front of the people of Kerala what their vision for the future of Kerala is, about development, about opportunities. This is a state, don't forget, where children today have to leave the state, not just for looking for jobs, but also for basic higher education. So all of those issues are front and center as part of the political discourse in Kerala, as opposed to what had been going on for the last 20 years of trying to squeeze the BJP NDA into a corner by casting us as some sort of a anti-Keralam force or an anti-Malayali force or an anti-secularism force. Those manufactured labels that had people believing this narrative. I believe in the last 12 months we have set that record straight, and we made this a contest saying, look, people will decide who should win and who should govern, but it should be based on a vision of development and a vision of progress.
Are the people of Kerala buying your argument and your pitch, Rajeev? Because one would assume that the way Keralam's political structure is, and the way we understand it, the beneficiaries of what you're saying would then be the UDF and the Congress.
No, I think if you think of our campaign as a campaign against the LDF in the last 10 years and its anti-incumbency, then the natural conclusion would be that the principal opposition party today, the UDF, the Congress, will benefit. And we saw some of that during the local body elections because while we did the heavy lifting on attacking the left, we were the ones who exposed them, Sabrimala, the inflation, the joblessness. The Congress really, without very much of effort, walked away with a large number of seats in the local body election. And there is a reason for that, because in every one of these local bodies, panchayats, cities, corporations, municipalities, the Congress is the sitting opposition. So when you attack the ruling party, obviously in many parts of Kerala where BJP does not, or the NDA does not even have a footprint, the anti-communist vote or the anti-LDF votes automatically goes to the opposition party, and so they benefited from it. But it is after January that the real discussion about the track record of the Congress party is also first time being put forth or coming out into the mainstream. The Congress party is not a party that has not governed Kerala. They have governed Kerala for years on end. This is the same Congress party that governed India for 10 years and had 8 ministers from Kerala in the cabinet. So, you've seen this in the Congress and you've seen this with Rahul Gandhi. There is almost a belief in their mind that people have amnesia, that people forget things that are 10 years or before. And it is our job, it is our political responsibility to make sure that people understand. And we use this as a slogan in our campaign, LDF, UDF, Randella, Onnana. That means whether it is politicking with Jamaat-e-Islami, whether it is about Sabrimala loot, whether it is about appeasement, corruption, dynasty politics, every one of these areas, these two parties are co-joined. They are joined at the hip, and there's absolutely no difference between the Congress and the CPM. And they are in formal alliance in 27 states and 8 union territories for a reason, because they're aligned. It is only in Kerala they do this Nadagam, and we call it Bharatanatyam, so which is a dance of opportunistic politics. So I think, is it easy for 100% of the 3.5 crore Malayalis to get this immediately? No, but we have, and from day one I said, we will take this message to every household. We have to present not just our credentials, we have to present what has happened in the last 70 years since the state was formed and governed and ruled by the UDF and the LDF successively.
Do you have a sense of what you can realistically achieve in this election?
No, we have. I had a very, very strong view up front that we will 100% alter the political discourse from these controversies to something real. We have already achieved that. And the proof of that today is both the Congress and the left, in their own advertising and communication, have started talking about Vikasanam, development. So I think that is in itself a big achievement, that we have shifted all the 90% energy around controversies and lies and fake news and fake disinformation that characterize Kerala politics into something that is at least 30-40% around development, and 60% continues to be the old style CPM Congress politics. So that we've achieved. The second is we have established and demolished the myth that the BJP NDA can never win in Kerala. That was the other argument. People who wanted to support us, wanted to vote for BJP NDA, supported Narendra Modi ji, kept telling me after I reached that we think voting for you is a good thing, but it's a waste, because you are not viable, you are not a winning coalition. And I think that over the last 3-4 months in particular, especially with the expansion of the NDA, with other parties like the 2020 and all coming in, we are now, for the first time in the history of Kerala politics, an extremely viable, extremely competitive political formation. And that is again another change, because all this while, and I remember when I took over as president, one of the first challenges I had was a by-election in Nilambur. And Nilambur is in the hardcore area, where one community dominates the election outcomes. But we went in there, we had about 10 days to contest. We put forth a very, very reasonable development roadmap, blueprint for the constituency. On the other hand, they kept talking about fighting elections with Jamaat-e-Islami and SDPI. And in an election campaign meeting, and a couple of old ladies walked up to me, held my hand and said, in Malayalam, Mone, son, we have been wanting to vote for you for many, many years and decades. But there is no point wasting our vote on you, because if we waste our vote on you, the wrong guy will get elected. So it became clear as we led up to the local body election that we have to demonstrate that we are winners and we can win, and people want us to win, and we are willing to work hard to win. And I think after the local body elections today, pricing the Trivandrum Corporation from the CPM was not an easy task. But having done that and now demonstrating our governance, people believe that the NDA can win. And this campaign, I say, in these election campaigns, every place I go, I say, we are not contesting to win 1 seat or 2 seats or 3 seats. We are contesting to determine the outcome of the future of Kerala post 2026. So that is our goal, that is our mission. And I think that is one big change pre-25 to now, that people believe that BJP NDA can win. We believe that the BJP NDA can win. And both these work together and create a dynamic of its own.
Talk to us about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's own personal connect and how he is viewed by the electorate in Kerala. You know, we see it as different in each state, but there is also a unifying kind of regard with which he is viewed. What is that connect that Prime Minister Modi has in Kerala? I did a
survey, and this survey dates back a little bit to early 25, after I had lost my Lok Sabha election, and I had some time on my hand, and so I was doing things. And 64% of Malayalis selected Narendra Modi ji as their most trusted political leaders. Now understand the dynamics of the 64%. Hindus constitute only 51% of Kerala. So automatically, assuming that 100% of Hindus are not necessarily voting for or considering Narendra Modi ji as the most trusted leader, his appeal therefore cuts across every community, every faith, every religion, every demography. And it is extremely clear today, even today, if you take a poll, if you go out and ask a group of Malayalis anywhere, who is the most trusted, who is the most hardworking political leader that is impacting your life, to a man, woman and a child, a majority of them will pick Narendra Modi. His impact is deep, his credibility is deep. His government has helped so many Malayalis, whether it is bringing them back from the Middle East, people caught in distress in Afghanistan, in Yemen, all these kinds of, some of them, that he is a person who cuts through politics and will be there for every Indian. The trust between a citizen and a political leader has never been as high as it is between Narendra Modi ji and an average Malayali, and I think it's true for across the board, across India. And that is something, that is a cachet, that is equity that the party certainly wants to cash in on by essentially amplifying his type of politics, his type of vision of Viksit Bharat. When we say Vikasita Kerala, what does Vikasita Kerala get derived from as an idea? It is derived from his vision of Viksit Bharat. So those are the things that I think are deeply altering the political culture and landscape of Kerala. Now, a lot of people will try and hold it back and take it back in the direction that the last 10, 15 years, was with fake guarantees and creating these narratives of secularism. The irony is, for example, the Indian Union Muslim League, which is a coalition partner of the Congress party, that used to call itself the liberal Muslim political party and call itself secular, today is in a formal alliance with Jamaat-e-Islami. And Jamaat-e-Islami is an organization that is unashamedly talking about establishing a Sharia state and an Islamic state. So these are things that we are now taking to every Malayali and saying, look, think and vote. This is an incredibly important election that will determine the future of our state and determine the future of the entire younger generation.
The Congress is a party, Rajeev, which has seen electoral setbacks owing to confusion over leadership, factionalism, one-upmanship between competing interests within the party, etc. That has been quite visible in Kerala as well. The Congress says all is well, everyone is now united and fighting as one. Any frictions have been described as just, the natural ambitions of leaders, and actually affirms the vibrancy of the party. How do you see that?
Look, I don't want to get into a debate on Congress's internal Look, it is a party of contradictions. It is a party without a clue or a vision about the future of not just Kerala but also the country. It is known. Every average Indian, good-thinking Indian, every right-thinking Malayali, everybody with a common sense looks at Rahul Gandhi and wonders, what does this man represent? And I'm telling you, 80% of the Congress workers are scratching their head and trying to figure out what is he saying. What does he represent in terms of a political force? What does he represent in terms of a political leader? At the end of the day, you can't be 56, 57 years old, not hold a day's work or job in your life and pontificate when it means nothing. You have to inspire people to, that you must amount to something. So Rahul Gandhi comes in, he does his shoot and scoot politics, and which, fine, look, it's his right to do it. But I have absolutely no doubt that if there is a state that it will not work in, if there is a people that this type of politics will not work in, it is Kerala. It may have worked in Telangana for whatever reasons. Maybe there nobody fought back, nobody countered it. It may have worked in Karnataka, which is a great tragedy because most of my political life I was in Karnataka, and it's very distressing to see DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah and all take government away from BJP by alleging corruption when they've become the epitaph and the icons of corruption themselves. But I can tell you that in Kerala it will not work. And in terms of, look, Kerala is a state where Congress's biggest statesmen came from. Uman Chandi, A.K. Antony, Karunakaran. These were all independent, proud leaders. And you know Karunakaran, how he fought and came out of the Congress because when they tried to sideline him. These are the real icons of the Congress. Rahul Gandhi doesn't hold, there is no comparison. The current crop of leadership, they don't hold a lamp or a candle to what these people have contributed for him. These were all tall leaders who were immensely popular on their own, had a following, and they did not do this kind of politics. Karunakaran, for example, was a leader who may have been a Hindu Nair, but he led the state, not allowing anybody to think along caste lines, not allowing anybody to think along religious lines. And it was the most moderate time for Muslims and the Muslim community growth. But those days are over now. Now you have people whose entire rise in Kerala Congress politics is because of how they hold this man's bag or, tom his ideas. It is not a party that inspires anyone anymore. It is the party that is, unfortunately today, for the grandest old party, it is the party that has purely become a party that trolls the ruling BJP or the NDA alliance. And look, everybody realizes in a democracy there will be always a group of people who will be anti-establishment. So they pander to that. They pander to that with no facts or imagination, but pander to that through pure trolling and through pure vicious misinformation.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Devo bene, sì, tu le vuole la mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a stare la view? Mette bene in capire I love you.
Papà l'americano.
Some moments in life are lifelong. Some memories are lifelong. Blessings are meant to be lifelong. Trust is also placed lifelong.
Heart lifelong, love lifelong, bond lifelong, memories lifelong.
True love is lifelong, isn't it?
Love lifelong, bond born lifelong.
We respect our loved ones lifelong too, don't we? Some relationships stay shining lifelong. Just like Tata Power Solar Roof, best quality solutions, lifelong service guarantee and unmatched expertise. Ye on the quality lifelong.
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolla mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sentare sai la biu. Mette bene in cappi hai la biu.
Papà l'americano.
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने आईएनएस विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolla mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sentare sai la biu. Mette bene in cappi hai la biu.
Papà l'americano.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolla mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sentare sai la biu. Mette bene in cappi hai la biu.
Papà l'americano.
Trust is also placed lifelong. Just like Tata Power Solar Roof, best quality solutions, lifelong service guarantee and unmatched expertise. Ye on the quality lifelong.
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolla mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sentare sai la biu. Mette bene in cappi hai la biu.
Papà l'americano.
Yo, मैं हूँ आपका अपना दिल्ली वाला yo हानी सिंगर। I'm bringing the music, memories, madness back to my city, जहाँ मैं पैदा हुआ और अपनी जवानी बिताई। This is my story, retold song by song, creating night Delhi will never forget. My story with NDTV Good Time, live in Delhi. One night, no repeats.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive.
Where the Congress party was deciding its strategy, you know, you keep saying Team UDF, Team UDF. You've gone on a yatra. You've all announced guarantees. Do you watch cricket? As India celebrates Sanju Samson?
We all like cricket, especially this cricket. Sanju Samson was the star.
Sanju Samson was the star, but Surya Kumar Yadav was the captain. He's the captain. Who is the captain of Team UDF? Are you the Surya Kumar Yadav of Team UDF?
The politics, especially the Congress politics, is entirely different from cricket. Cricket, there is a captain. But the Congress politics, while we are facing the election, across the country, we are not announcing the Chief Minister candidate. Only after the election, we are selecting the Chief Minister candidate. There is a procedure to select that. Before election, my responsibility, I am interested to bring back the UDF into power. So my duty is to coordinate all the leaders, all the coalition partners, and work among the people, and we have to bring it back.
You have to bring it back. But the problem, some would say, is it a disadvantage to go with collective leadership? And I'm asking you this serious question as we will go from the sensational to the substantial as well. Against a personality like Pinarayi Vijayan, is it important to have another personality to challenge that in an election like this? You've seen many elections. In fact, your margin of victory in every election since 2001 has been higher than the previous one. Do you believe it's a disadvantage? Do you think it's time that there has to be categorical clarity?
This is a party procedure. If I have my own opinion, there is no relevance on that. But collective leadership is good, because if I am taking a decision, it has to be discussed with the other leaders also. Then after the interactions with the other leaders, when we are reaching a conclusion, it will be good. All the merits and demerits will be discussed. Then while we are reaching a conclusion, it will be good. The collective leadership is having an advantage. And Congress is very lucky in Kerala. We have a galaxy of leadership.
You are saying that you have lots of leadership. You see, I come from Karnataka. And you know what's happening there in Karnataka? In 2023, the Congress had a sweeping victory. For the last 3 years, we are only discussing if there is going to be a change of power, etc. Now, let me throw a googly at you. Do you believe 3 years down the line, we will be discussing internal Congress power politics if the UDF comes to power?
No. For me, I have already told you that I am interested to bring back. There is an assignment. After completing the assignment, whatever the party decides, I will go with that. No complaint, nothing will be there. All the leaders we are very close to each other. Our families are very close to each other. We can settle ourselves very easily in Kerala. We have been working for a long time. For the last 4 or 5 decades, everybody knows each other. So we have a very good relation, just like a family relation. We can settle ourselves. I don't think that there will be any problem. Anyway, from my part, nothing will be there.
From your part, nothing will be there. So tell me something. Let me dwell a little bit on the personal before I go into the ideological and substantial issues. You say you're all personal friends. How is a conversation behind the scenes like? Like, for instance, when you are having a conversation with each other in terms of your party and your structure, is it about individual importance, and is that target that eventually who's going to be the king matter, or is it still just a personal conversation at the moment? You keep it all aside.
We are all human beings. That may be in their minds. But behind the scene, we are debating on every subject. Then we are reaching on a conclusion. Nothing more than that. Nothing more.
And so tell me, last question on this subject before I go forward. The decision yesterday by the CEC that none of the MPs will contest the elections, is that a clear message that it's...
CEC have not taken such a decision.
Okay.
They have to take a decision on that.
Okay.
I think within 3 or 4 days, the Congress High Command will take a decision regarding the contest of the MPs. They will take a decision.
Does the Congress party give enough opportunities to young people like you, to younger people like you, to speak in the parliament? Do you feel that there's more space for younger MPs to speak? Because the Prime Minister keeps saying that because of disruptions, and he blames the opposition for it, a lot of young MPs in the opposition feel that they are not able to speak to their constituencies.
As you rightly quoted, I came for this interview just after making a speech in Parliament. That to an opening speech in supplementary demands, grant of demands, opening speech. I was the first member to speak from India Bloc or Indian National Congress for that matter. So how can someone say like that? As far as Parliament is concerned, I'm a newcomer. This is my first term, and this is my second year. So now I'm opening the speech in a Parliament discussion allotted by the opportunity given by the party. And second thing, when you talk about disruptions, what a new member, he may get a 0 hour or a question to be raised in the Parliament when it is happening. I find it as very important to do that. But think the other way around. The leader of opposition is not allowed to speak in this Parliament regarding very crucial issues, which is concerned, those were concerns regarding the security of this country. India's borders, the stand that the government took when some crisis happened.
Shafi, talking about disruptions, talking about protests, you have been part of the Youth Congress as well, and you've fought several elections at college level, you've won several of them. There was recently a protest by the Youth Congress workers at the AI Summit venue, which was criticized by a lot of people they said that it disgraced India, it brought India to shame. But of course, the other side also felt that there's a right to protest. But many of them felt that at a World Summit, this could have been avoided. As somebody who has headed the Youth Congress in the state for several years, what is your opinion on this?
See, there is always a space for dissent in democracy. There is always a space in dissent for democracy. We cannot deny that. Whatever summit is happening, whatever occasion it is, there is a space for dissent. Do you remember Commonwealth Games? Do you remember all those marches led by BJP leaders to those venues, before, during, after, citing corruptions? So that was more international an event. Have you seen protests globally due to nearing the World Cup venues where even the World Cup football was happening? Have you seen Brazil when the World Cup football was happening, the way protests happened there? So see, around the globe, there were protests happening in summits, events. Have you seen protests in some G20 summit was happening in so many countries? So now the government cannot criminalize a dissent. You cannot criminalize it. You cannot put them under a bar saying that this is some anti-national activity. That protest was never violent. Nobody was injured. No public properties was disrupted or destroyed. On the other hand, actually what overshadows India's potential is that this protest, I must say it's no. What overshadowed India's potential was the way the government mismanaged that summit. We saw that Chinese robot taking a limelight, even when the minister went and tweeted it. When our DD was covering it with special interest, later only we came to know that it's not indigenous, it's not our potential, it's from China. So whose mismanagement was it?
But the criticism that Rahul Gandhi's has not been, he has been misleading Gen Z is what the BJP keeps saying. As somebody who has led the Youth Congress, do you feel that Rahul Gandhi is able to connect to the youngsters of the country in the way he should?
See, by saying that Rahul Gandhi is misleading Gen Z or youngsters, you are undermining or underestimating Gen Z also. Isn't it? We must not say that they can easily be misled, if the BJP claims to be so, because they can't be easily misled. They know what to stand for. They know when to raise their voice. So they can't be misled. Instead, Rahulji especially, is trying to connect with them, is trying to know their aspirations. A leader like Rahul Gandhi, who in India has got more depth and more vision in areas like artificial intelligence. You know what our Prime Minister's definitions about AI. I'm not quoting that right here. So Rahul ji always stayed for the future. He is talking for the future. He know how important data is for us.
But where are you on this debate of Rahul Gandhi versus Priyanka Gandhi? Because many feel that, Priyanka Gandhi, connects with the Indian population better. She can be a better leader. That's one section. Both in the BJP also who feel, some people in the opposition also feel that. And some people stand by Rahul Gandhi. You have seen both of them from close quarters. What is the difference in their styles of leadership, and what do you think works more for the country?
See, there is no Rahul Gandhi versus Priyanka Gandhi in Congress politics. It is Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi versus this administration and this government or RSS or BJP. There is no fight between Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi. There is no such questions arising. They are two different individuals working for a common goal, on a common ideological basis. They may have different styles, but it doesn't mean that it is versus other.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle la mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come te va a stare sai la bio. Mette bene in capire hai la vita.
Papà l'americano.
Trust is also placed lifelong. Just like Tata Power Solar Roof, best quality solutions, lifelong service guarantee and unmatched expertise. Ye on the quality lifelong.
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle la mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come te va a stare sai la bio. Mette bene in capire hai la vita.
Papà l'americano.
Yo, मैं हूँ आपका अपना दिल्ली वाला yo Hani singer. I'm bringing the music, memories, madness back to my city, जहाँ मैं पैदा हुआ और अपनी जवानी बिताई. This is my story, retold song by song, creating night Delhi will never forget. My story with NDTV Good Time, live in Delhi. One night, no repeats.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle la mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come te va a stare sai la bio. Mette bene in capire hai la vita.
Papà l'americano.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolla mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come te va a sai la view. Mette bene in capi di I love you.
Papà l'americano.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Raj called Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind